for world quests from last version in order to catch up in time for the rewards, I guess. So there we go. I do kind of wonder what team would make sense to be using here. I mean, it is what it is, but okay. And okay. There is, for one tiny. Let's run a few more. So as of right now, that's right. This is running, and to be fair, it's not as if we know for sure that Eula and Mika are actually getting hex buffs, but I did decide to farm some talent books to get them to 999 if needed after, you know, years of not building Eula after obtaining Eula. And, you know, same for Mika, that's less. Okay. Thank you. Oh, I was not expecting to get hit like that. It is fun that, you know, for basic encounters, you really don't have to bother with locations because most of his damage buff from the team is just coming from having that element restriction satisfied. Okay. But Kaya and Lisa also use ballad books, and apparently they might be getting buffed too. Though again, I kind of hope that if it... I'm not sure how I would feel about Lisa becoming Hexerai, as part of her whole deal is that she's a witch not affiliated with the circle of witches, so to speak. Hello, how are you doing? I'm just chilling. Farmed a couple of talent books. Yeah, it'll be a couple more. Oh, Mondstadt, it's been a while. Because apparently in 6.6, though we don't know for sure yet, Eula and Mika might be getting buffed, which maybe by becoming Hexerai, maybe they'll be making another faction, but it did make me want to finally build and skill them after all these years. But I guess that decision may be contingent on whether that actually materializes. But one way or another, there's a bit to do. I guess my question is, should we meet Iligo for the first time at Pyramida or at the Pillar of Embla? Because this... this ends in a few days. So I would like to get that cleared out before it becomes an issue. Also, the question is what team I'd be running. In terms of who came out when, I mean, I guess we could put Yahuda in, maybe. Oh, and Zebai's moon sign, so she basically counts. World's wackiest team. It does mean, though, we should give her back the... Take this from you. Just to apply more Hydra or something, sure. Apparently, yeah, next patch, not apparently, we know. It's going to be a free Yahuda as the free patch character from the flagship event. But it's not going to take me to C6, which is the only thing that makes her even somewhat usable, so that's okay. For now, she can take back the Viridescent set that's currently on Venti was when I originally leveled for Yahuda, so she can borrow it back while I'm exploring, because it's not as if I really need Venti to be using it right now. Okay, cool. To be fair, attack would kind of be better, but that's okay. Windstirred Ripples and Tower of Inversion. Pillar of Embla in the middle versus Pyramid at the bottom. The Lightkeepers gather for their oath-taking ceremony at Pyramid. I think we can go here. May as well take this while we're in the area. Oh yeah, that's right. Oh, this should probably go to Mika's set, because I've been leveling that Pale Flame for Eula, but if she does become Hexera, she's not even going to want that anymore. Let's see what I can clear out of the inventory, if anything. Real quick. Where'd the other one go? It was just down here. And of course, Iliga is holding Dragon's Bane to maximize his EM for the sake of the Winter Crystallized Quills that he has. So, yeah, that is true. I never did actually go and check out all of Zeebai's carriage spots, but now is not really the time for that. Okay, well, we won't be getting so many chests. Still fun. Oh, that's actually good. That's a double crit piece. And defense is better, but I mean, Linnea can use Husk. She can. It's not amazing for her, but she can use it. We have space for 9. That's okay. Linnea can use Husk. It's kind of in between Albeit and Husk for her, and I believe that it... Yes. Where did it go? Don't tell me it just vanished. I mean, not that I'm really worried about trash artifacts like that, but still. Oh, it's right there. Interesting. Let's pick this up while we're here. And these are basically primitive cars that are specifically the moon wagons, they're called. Specifically more primitive versions of what they have in Snezhnaya, they've said. So in other words, when we get to Snezhnaya, we're just going to have actual cars. I mean, it's been known, more or less from the start, that they've had actual modern-style technology. Oh, we can get up there with that lift. Oh, thank you. I'm not _IVN. I don't know who IVN is, so I wasn't exactly mistaking you for him. Oh, there's a lever right here. Levanti, the Lightkeeper, hello. So I'm just doing the same thing day in and day out. When will it be my turn to be called up to the battlefield? You would maybe die. What are you doing? As you can see, I'm standing guard. Sergeant Major Marshkin told me to check the identities of the people coming and going. But I didn't see the point. Are we really expecting the Wild Hunt to disguise themselves as regular people and waltz through the checkpoint or something? Seems somewhat dissatisfied. So the Lightkeeper respect every decision made by Sergeant Major Marushkin. Oh, okay, it's Ian. Okay. So you're not Ivan, you're Ian. Okay. Is that it? Soldier obedience is fundamental. It's just that I didn't go through all those selections and assemblies just to be a watchman. Sergeant Major even said to me, stick around, pay attention to how the others fight. Heroic fantasies will only get you killed, but so what? You know what a real hero looks like? Someone like Sigurd, someone who fights to the death and becomes a legend that everyone admires. And now I beat him up every day to farm Wild Hunt materials, not to someone who stands here day after day watching the others return crowned in battle glory. It's okay. You know, don't share what you're not willing to. I'll leave you to your work. See you, sigh. Can ride this up here. Oh, you interact with the middle because it's the left proper. Oh, a pyramid is such a tall city. From afar, it really does look like a giant lighthouse. Fitting for the Lightkeepers, and yep, we can pick up this Linoculus just on the way up. Exciting. Okay. And Windstirred Ripples head to Pyramida. I guess we should be tracking that. We weren't all... I mean, we already were. I don't know what their deal was then. Okay. So this is, I suppose, going to be our first check on the situation at the plaza. And there he is, Iliga. Someone who appears to be the leader. A torch forger who illuminates the darkness on the borderlands. So that would be Solove, who is mentioned in the secret sanctuary of the Frostmoon Scions. In the documents there, we Lightkeepers pledge here and now. I would say probably the exploration. Though I think it's kind of been heavily watered down since, depending on how mean I want to be, either Sumeru or Inazuma. I enjoyed Not One, but the last time exploration was difficult, instead of just fun, I suppose, was either Sumeru, pre-underground map, or Inazuma with the puzzles. I have been playing since 1.5. The second half of 1.5. Yeah. Thus did I foresee, waves crashing on the shore, the night sky devoured by deathly silence. So they're taking the Lightkeeper's Oath, which we saw the entire whole of when we did the quest, basically laying flower petals at the graves of all the dead Lightkeepers in the first non-cry area, which I did about a week ago, because until recently I was very busy. I have, for better or worse. I mean, this is a very strong account, I'd say. I've got every character other than Ayato and Ito. Thus did I declare, whomsoever cradles the flame and keeps it burning unquenched, need not descend into that darkness. We are the Lightkeepers who shine the eternal light of hope into the endless snow-swept plains. My fellow companions, our mission this time is to repel the monsters infesting within the Kipumaki Cliff, and investigate the culprit behind this wild hunt outbreak. Ah, yep, so it's Ilga who appears to be the leader. Ilga, we shall set foot on that cliff which we last approached 3 years ago and fight this decisive battle. I know many of you, like me, have reasons why you must be on this mission. Keep this in mind, Pyramida is behind us. For the living, for our future, we must not take even one step back. And this prelude to the Night Vigil. It's basically an Ilga story quest, which is pretty wild. And, yeah. There's a lot going on here. Fair. I mean, that was when it was kind of at its most popular. Because it was after it started and sort of at the peak of coronavirus boost. Frankly, it was after people got over their, aversion to certain, to the origins, so to speak. Okay. So we actually already did a good deal of this because the first part was an enemy encounter. There are some things that change based on whether we've encountered him at the Tower of Embla. Oh, okay. Did you lose your old account, or... As our vow thunders, our bones and blood we shall use as fuel. We shall make life greater than death. We shall do our solemn duty as Lightkeepers to battle. The distinction between Lightkeepers and Rotniki does not exist in the Japanese. They call them all Lightkeepers, and I don't know what it's like in the Chinese, but Rotnik just means soldier in Russian, to battle. Yes, Captain. The youngest captain, and the adopted son of Nikita, the Master Lightkeeper, or in the English, the Starshina, which basically just means commander. Paimon's never seen so many Lightkeepers gathering and heading out before. This must be real serious business. Oh, so it's tied to your PSN. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. I mean, starting next patch, it's not going to be playable on PS4 anymore. I actually have a PS4 that I got cheap from a friend who didn't need it anymore, literally just to play Bloodborne. And then I beat Bloodborne, and now it's just sitting, I guess, until I want to play Bloodborne again. Dustbloods, which is the sort of Bloodborne sequel in all but name, is going to be a Switch 2 exclusive, which is wild, but at least I have one of those and not just for that game. Captain seems like a reliable sword. Iluga is apparently going to be... Iluga is apparently going to be on Linnea's banner, which is the shortest rerun time for a 4-star since early versions when it was different because you had so fewer characters. He looks about the same age as the Traveler, but he's got such an imposing presence. Geo. Paimon's still worried they're going after that special wild hunt, right? Will they actually be okay even with all those people? Oh, have you played Bloodborne? That's nice. What kind of build did you use? When I was unemployed, and then I got busy, and now I'm unemployed again because we're in an economic depression. That at least gives you more time to catch up on my backlog, I guess. But I was playing through the Souls series, and it didn't really count for Sekiro, because you can't really do it there, with a very silly condition, which was leveling every stat equally. I couldn't let any stat get more than 2 points higher than any other. And the game that was worst with, I'd say the hardest time was with Bloodborne, but that's probably just because Bloodborne's hard. I had to cheese Orphan of Kos with a very funny strategy, which, I wouldn't even necessarily call it cheese, but okay. I would say... It's hard for me to say which one's the best. They're all so different, which is good. Because Elden Ring, I had a lot of fun with, but I'm not sure I could do a second playthrough. Technically, the one I streamed was my second playthrough, because I did a very silly playthrough that barely touched any of the game my first time around, where I only leveled intelligence, nothing else, starting astrologer, which became very, very difficult very fast, especially since I didn't really care about that file, and I ended up playing through. Yeah, exactly. The thing about Elden Ring is that you can speedrun it just as fast, if not faster, than any other Souls game. It's just, I'm a completionist, so it's very hard for me to do a focused playthrough ignoring things. When I played, it was more or less a 100% playthrough. There's nothing I deliberately skipped. I missed the Torch and Midra's Manse in the DLC. Did you play Shadow of the Erdtree? I have complicated feelings on Shadow of the Erdtree. I loved Ansbach, and I loved the world design, but it was so completely unintegrated with the base game story, besides the kills you had to do in order to get in, that it felt incredibly out of place compared to every other previous Souls games DLCs. Especially because it took so long to come out, and was hinted as a story follow-up, that I had kind of unfair, or at least unrealistic expectations. It's good. Without spoiling too much, it does not have nearly as much to do with the base game story as you might expect. And honestly, I'd say the gameplay is a lot stronger than the story. But the gameplay is great. The bosses are fun. And I will say that a lot of the characters in the group of NPCs you pal along with are very compelling, especially Ansbach. Fair. You may or may not know, but you can do it more or less any time once you've killed Radahn and Mohg to gain entrance. Because the story is relatively self-contained, and the main thing is that it's got a separate leveling system from the base game. I mean, you want to be decently leveled, but as long as you're strong enough to kill Radahn and Mohg, you're not going to have a particularly hard time of it. At least in terms of the difficulty that might come from being underleveled. Especially since, not to say too much if you're not aware, most of the strength you get in the context of the DLC comes from exploration. Just never be ashamed to summon or use Ashes of War. I didn't use Ashes of War because I like the challenge, but if it's in the game, it's there to be used. There's no such thing as cheating in a... What I will say is that I'm glad that From is kind of breaking free of Bombco in a number of ways. Because the advertising that's been done, especially in the West for Souls, has always been at cross purposes with what the devs have actually envisioned as the appeal of their games. In that, in a very sort of, I don't know, this ain't your dad's video game, this ain't your grandma's video game, because famously or infamously, DS1 was advertised with the whole "prepare to die" tagline, and there was an ad where there were three, and of course they were either two-handing or sword and board knights. No magic users allowed, no decks allowed, strength build only. In a hospital ward with a scared grandma as fire is streaming out of a room. To be fair, a lot of it is because Demon's Souls was a lot more popular in the West than the East. And so they saw as their games of having primarily Western appeal, which I wouldn't necessarily say is true these days. Though, to be fair, as the series went on and they got better at animation, the bosses, and once they started adding weapon skills, the player got a lot more anime, so to speak. But, Miyazaki has always described multiplayer, especially cooperative multiplayer, as a core portion of what he intends the player to focus on in the series, which makes me excited for Dustbloods, because it's going to be... we know very little about it, other than that it's supposed to come out this year. A specifically multiplayer-focused Souls-like. Though it will be match-focused primarily, which makes me wonder, yeah, they were going to make an extraction shooter. Get ready for the Souls Arc Raiders or whatever. But basically, use magic, use range, use whatever. Make a cheesy build, grind. If it's in the game, it's there to be used. I think a lot of them have gone, especially because the games have become a bit more popular, I'd say, and broader appealing. But I mean, the challenge is a big part of Souls and a big part of what I enjoy. But it's probably like third on the list for me in terms of what I like, which is, big dark fantasy setting with deep lore. I will say that the one thing that makes me kind of sad is that it's not really a series, I would say, is mostly about the music. Elden Ring and Bloodborne are kind of outliers. So is Demon Souls, I would suppose, in terms of Souls games with prominent music, because it's not like Sakuraba is a bad composer, but the music is always a lot more subdued, and not especially melodic, even in boss fights. Demon Souls and Bloodborne were actually, the music was made by the Sony sound team, so it's a very different approach, and Elden Ring had a different composer too. I mean, the music got a bit more bombastic, especially in terms of title themes. There is nothing like what they did with Radabeast in that the two phases were taken musically from different portions of the title screen music, which of course is always cool when a video game does that. If you can't tell, I'm a Kirby fan. Kirby does that a lot. But I mean, I would say that Bloodborne certainly has the best music of the whole Souls series, because I mean, they had, albeit butchered, actual Latin lyrics. For Elden Ring, it is the composer, whose name escapes me, wanted to make actual Latin lyrics and was actually shot down. So instead it's gibberish, except, notably, though it's not really a song per se, in the typical sense, the chanting winged dames, the enemies that look kind of like bats but are actually, old women with wings, what they sing is actually a song with Latin lyrics. But of course, you have to sneak up on them more or less and listen to them deliberately. It's not going to be found unless you actively go looking. But yeah, Lady Maria's theme, Ludwig's theme, Lawrence's theme, Old Hunters was fantastic all around. I mean, any kind of reprise, which of course they have with Radabeast reprising the Elden Ring title screen music. But with, Lawrence the First Viker, if you did not notice or did not know, his theme is a remix with different lyrics of the Cleric Beast team. Song, Queen, song. Yeah, it worked especially well for Bloodborne because it's had a bit of a Catholic aesthetic, frankly. And what is interesting is that, and I don't know how much R. Martin's involvement was part of it. I don't imagine, frankly. A guy named Sekiro Dubi did a big content exploration of Elden Ring. And the big thing is that before R. Martin got involved, it invented everything to do with the demigods, or at least their familiar relations and internal politics. The game was basically going to be Souls, where fire was bad instead of good, quote-unquote. It was going to be more or less a matter of continuing the world, or summon the Frenzied Flame. The Frenzied Flame was going to be a lot more important. Calais and the merchants had a huge quest that was entirely cut to make way for the increased focus on the demigods and the Erdtree, I'd say. And which is a shame, because it was an interesting quest line, and now everything to do with the Frenzied Flame feels honestly kind of tacked on, even though it was the original design for the game. But it's interesting. As I was saying, you know, there's a lot more. I mean, you get a sort of Evangelion kind of thing in the original Souls game, where, you know, the religion is mostly just cool aesthetics, but either because of time or R. Martin's involvement. And I will say that they definitely, they had a lot more planned out lore for Elden Ring, for better or worse. I mean, it can be a bit constraining, and I think the fact that the Souls games weren't all planned out as a trilogy from the start gave them a lot more interesting leeway in terms of being different from game to game. They weren't as locked in. But there was honestly a lot more Western philosophical and religious feel in Elden Ring compared to the Souls games. Because you've got a Western religious and architectural aesthetic in the Souls games, but a lot like Zelda, frankly, this sort of thematic content is wholly Eastern. Dark Souls 2 is very, very Buddhist, actually. In the sense, you know, there's a lot of, you know, before in Dark Souls 3, when they reveal, you know, minor spoiler, that the undead curse is actually, you know, the god's creation. You know, the questline of Lucatiel in Dark Souls 2, who's a major friendly NPC, deals a lot with the idea of, you know, the soul and the self being illusory and the source of suffering, you know, very baby's first Buddhism. And then in Dark Souls 3, depending on how much you know, the whole deal is that, you know, time has grown increasingly stagnant. And if you've ever heard the phrase, time is convoluted in Lordran from the first game, that Soler says to explain all the heroes and such, it's not because time is looping, it's because time has basically hit a standstill. It's not convoluted, it's stagnant. And the reason heroes are showing up and their ghosts remain is because nothing is progressing and nothing is changing, because the gods have prevented the onset of the Age of Dark. But in Dark Souls 3, they get big into the idea of the deep, which is sort of this dark that has grown stagnant. And a lot more about stagnation, where the world has actively started to collapse in on itself. In the DLC, you're actively going through the ruins of locations in older games as you go from the castles of 3 to a windmill, the earthen peak of 2, and back to Firelink Shrine in Dark Souls 1. You're going farther back into a history that has not given way, but simply been stacked up. It's like a tell. You know, like, you know, the word Armageddon comes from the Hebrew tel Megiddo. Tel is literally meaning, you know, a mound that is built up around a settlement from, you know, rubbish being discarded and built on top of. You know, it famously, the city of Rome, if you dig down, you'll see ruins, because they didn't have any place to put their trash. It wasn't taken out, so eventually the trash swallowed the old buildings, and they built on top of the trash, which, to be fair, has made the city less flood-prone. But, because in the Roman days, it was very flood-prone. But then with all the trash, the ground level of the city rose. Thank you, trash. But the idea of stagnation and the deep, especially associated with stagnant water, you know, breeding mosquitoes, for example, and you talk a lot about the deep having insects in it. It's very Shinto, you know, the other Japanese religion. Though, to be fair, until the 19th century, they were actually the same thing. Though the Japanese government will not like you saying that. Stagnation is as the source of uncleanliness in a very sort of retro, you know, very primeval biological sense of, you know, don't let water sit, you'll grow mosquitoes. Exactly! It's a kind of garbage job, pun intended. They'll actually be okay even with all those people. Let's find a way to pitch in. Now this is where we're supposed to meet Illaga. The Wild Hunt's everyone's problem, not just the Lightkeepers. We can't just leave this be. It is embarrassing that it took me as long as it did to realize that this game, the backstory, you know, the origin lore is very much a Souls ripoff, and I mean that in a good way, frankly, in that the world was originally controlled by dragons, and then either the First Flame or the Primordial One came, summoned got 4 underlings, either, you know, fire, life with the Witch of Izalith and her daughters, Death with Grave Ward Nito, Light with Gwyn, and Dark with the Furtive Pygmy, so easily forgotten. And then Life, Death, Time, and Space for the Shades in this one. And then they killed off the dragons and entered into an abusive relationship with humanity. Can't just leave this be. Sorry to bother you both, and oh, it's Nikita, I believe. Oh, hey there, Gramps. Anything we can help you with? Oh, this is our first meeting, but I can already tell that you're no ordinary people. I happen to hear that a blonde-haired adventurer named the Traveler and his companion have arrived in Notgrai, bringing with them impressive resumes from adventures all over Tavern. Would you happen to be those two legends? Yes, indeed. How did our whereabouts get leaked again? Paimon didn't expect to be recognized here. If this keeps up, we'll have to go undercover just to step outside. Don't you like being famous, Paimon? They might give you food. Fortunately, I'm used to being famous. Well, it's not like that. Paimon's just worried that if we get a commission deal with bad guys, they'll get tipped off and run away before we even leave the guild. But wouldn't that solve the problem in its own way? I'm Nikita, an ordinary lightkeeper who's been stationed in this remote land for years. That's not true. He is the Starshina, the Master Lightkeeper. Which, to be fair, he by name has been referred to as the Starshina before. Even before this patch, 6.3. Pardon my sudden interruption, but in truth I have a humble request. How could this be related to the Wild Hunt, yet what do you think? Indeed, it has a great deal to do with it. I'd like you to help us find a relic called the Silver Lampwick. Hey, you've come to the right people, we're really good at finding things, but what does this relic have to do with the Wild Hunt? Yeah, I have a lot to say about things. I would like to say that I have more talents other than talking, but it's certainly one of my best ones. Yeah, it's fun. I'm afraid we have to start with the Wild Hunt Calamity that swept through this land 500 years ago during the Conric Calamity. It is funny how with every nation, they say, oh yeah, the Abyss, the Conric Calamity was worse in this one than the last one, sorry. Well, to be fair, in Notland's case, they said it was the worst. In Nodcry Sands, they said it was the first. You know, not as bad, just earlier. Legend has it that an evil beast wielding dark powers, I believe that's Rotwang, who was named after an antagonist from the famous movie Metropolis, which notably is a partially lost movie. They Nodcry its hunting ground, tormenting countless living beings. This lasted until the Torchforger defeated it with 3 sacred relics, and again, that's Solove, the first Lightkeeper, the Sword, the Lamp, and the Mirror, who was a friend of Reed Miller, the first Treasure Hoarder. It's the 3 sacred treasures from Kid Icarus. No, not really. If you're thinking Sword, Lamp, and Mirror, that's 2 out of 3 of the Japanese Imperial Regalia. But of course, instead of a lamp, they have a little bead, a magatama, a kama-shaped bead, and sealed it beneath Kipumaki Cliff, which literally means painful in Finnish. You know, Paha Isle, it just means evil. Paha just means evil. Only then was the calamity quelled, which apparently was its name even before the Vitui came, which I guess is nominative determinism. The Silver Lampwick is one of those 3 sacred relics that can summon a barrier to defend against the Wild Hunt's attacks. After quelling the calamity, the Torchforger entrusts it to Alia the Fae, guardian of the Pillar of Embla, the big Tower of Babel. It was intended as a Tower of Babel sort of thing to climb up to the heavens. In the center of the area, which 6.3's area, all 3 of them, well, all 3 of the regions are only as big collectively as Lempo, which is sad but funny. The situation is critical now, and we must rely on the relic's power to pull through, and we've sent Lightkeepers to search for it. We aren't exactly experts at hunting down items of power. I would be very grateful if you two could help. This involves Wild Hunt, so I'll gladly pitch in. I'll be paid for this gig, I presume. Let's be nice. Good, good, it seems the tales were right. You're no mere great adventurer, but a righteous hero who fights for the good of others. In other words, we've got to go to the Pillar of Embla, find the legendary Silver Lampwick, and bring it back here. During coronavirus, and then when we got more busy after coronavirus, it had to stop, I ran a very ambitious D&D campaign based on the Fate series for a number of friends. Pillar of Embla, find the legendary Silver Lampwick, and bring it back there. And one of the servants I crafted for my sister, actually, was Amaterasu, who was, you know, going to be very powerful and have those 3 regalia. And the idea was that eventually, and it was very funny because it was originally based off of a silly one-shot I ran where all the servants were jokes and all the masters were self-inserts. And that second part stayed, although the servants became serious. So it was all my friends pretending to be killing each other, which was fun. But, oh, and that's what became kind of difficult, is that I was telling them to essentially run 2 characters at once instead of running the servants as NPCs, which I should have done. I made it more complicated than I had to for them, which was part of why it fell apart. But it was also just... There were multiple groups, and it was nominally player versus player, though that was going to go away at the halfway mark when the real threat was revealed, of course. Yeah, I miss running D&D. I haven't done it in a long time. You know, depending on how long it takes me to find another job, I may end up running more D&D again and streaming it. I think that would be very fun, but it would be important to find the right people who I could reliably schedule with, because when you're scheduling for other people, it becomes all the more difficult logistically. But essentially, to be fair, you know, everyone got essentially 2 sessions per in-world day, and no one could have a second session per day until everyone else had had their first, so it became more difficult to schedule. But a lot of funny things happened. One group of players got tased outside of Home Depot because one of their servants was Diarmuid, well, a variant of Diarmuid from Fate Zero, who, of course, turns every woman infatuated with him due to his special mole. So, the player whose servant was Diarmuid, she thought that the Home Depot cashier was trying to steal her man, threw a can of soda at her, and with her superpowered strength, KO'd the Home Depot cashier, and they all ended up getting tased outside the Home Depot. Yeah, for me, and to be fair, that's what happened to the Fate campaign. Not to say too much, but 2 times I have had a campaign die because the friend group I was running it for broke up due to irreconcilable differences. With the Fate campaign, it was a breakup. With the first one, which was a sort of Hollow Knight / Dark Souls Candyland setting based on the Candyland board, where all the players were various Candyland characters, or based off of the setting that I ran for my little sister and her friends. That friend group also broke up. Not because of a breakup, but it just suffered internal conflict. But isn't the relic being kept by the Fae? How are we supposed to find it and retrieve it? According to the legend, following the moon powers that guides you upward will lead you to her. She was once an ally of the Torch Forgers, so I believe she will understand if you explain the situation to her. But if you do obtain the silver lamp, please give it to Iluga. You've already seen him. He's the young leader of that force, and thus the one who needs this relic most right now. The proofreading has gotten a lot worse, but at least that means it's still being done by humans. Okay. Alright, let's go to the pillar. The Pilla. And that is his adopted son. Oh, Fwins, you know I wouldn't call myself a regular volunteer, but are you certain my aid is not warranted this time? Oh, Fwins, you're here. I thought you wouldn't show up. Gotta take care of his 500 adopted human children. Would he write me so frequently if he believed that in truth? Why, by my reckoning, you had a missive delivered to my lighthouse posting a week ago. Do I seem like the lightkeeper who would disrespect his master lightkeeper by not even checking in? Part of it is just the period I was in life, nostalgia for that time of life, but probably Sumeru. No one, in any case, we at HQ have never failed to send you check-in notices either. You have the kid to thank for that. He's the closest to you of us lightkeepers, always presses me about how you're doing. How fares the young master? Yuruga Bochama. ... Honestly, I've entrusted him with grave responsibility after all. And again, that is his adopted son, Nikita's adopted son. So I need him and I trust him greatly as well. I believe my warning was clear. This is no ordinary wild hunt. Those monsters were drawn here by an ancient being, again that's Rotwang, one that has been sealed in the Kipamaki cliff for ages. I also know a little about him. We met by the Belyazar's court even. No garden variety viper was here. He, of course, because Rotwang, who is essentially the Rasputin analog, was a servant of the first Cryo-Archon. No region has had as complex underground exploration as Sumeru. I have started actively mining ores, and Linnea will make that faster and easier, because I've started rolling for weapons, and that requires me to get a lot more weapon ore, and I would not like to waste my resin on weapon enhancement crystals. And a lot of that involves going through the caves of Sumeru, and oh my goodness, do I miss them. Yeah, I loved them. People have no excuse now that the underground map exists. I explored it all before the underground map existed. I did, and I enjoyed it. I recall those eyes of his. They were exactly like the one staring at us right now. The big eye of Sauron. And Kipamaki. Do you remember how we became Lightkeepers, Flins? You mean you people. We, Flins, us, lately I've been dreaming about the past, about those battles we went through together. Does Nikita know that Flins is a fae? If anyone would. Disaster always strikes suddenly, whether you're ready to fight and face it or you cling to fear and pray for the best. No one is spared when the time comes. Oh, and who are you excited for? I'll show you something in a second. Give me a second. However, we know that we must struggle until lasting peace arrives. We Lightkeepers have proved that we built the foundations of this fortress through 500 years of struggle. True, but I would suggest that Iluga need not attend remedial lessons on this subject yet. Know better than I that he has lost everything once before. Yep, his parents all died in a wild hunt attack and Nikita adopted him. Indeed, only his youthful spirit prevents him from admitting this truth I deem, and it was Sigurd who saved him, which is mentioned if you take Iluga to fight Sigurd in the little pseudo-quest related to him. Yet my time is running out. Little remains of the years I bought for him, especially when compared to the burden he must soon shoulder. I see your mind is made up. In that case, let me not waste further breath on persuasion, my good master Lightkeeper. Starshina. By the way, do you remember that item I asked you to look for last time? I would never forget a command you gave, sir, a relic from 500 years ago. One tied to the first moon chanter in countless ways. Even I had to go to great lengths to obtain it. Also, if you're interested at all, there's a fan Discord. There is a link if you scroll down a little. Time for us to prepare as well. Let us witness the power of the bow and arrow bequeathed to us by the Torchforger. That's actually the canon. It's the arrow of Turpi Karanas, Nightingale's song, chapter 1, prelude to the Night Vigil, which means arrow of Zeus, actually. The leaves. The winds awaken, the leaves roll round. Might heed this call from the past, please ascend the tower. Traveler, you heard that too, right? Was that Alia the Fae calling to us? I mean, it's all the way over there. She said to ascend the tower. Do you think we should check it out? No, I think we should just do nothing. But here, if you want to see something fun, I mean, I've been at this game for a while. I was gotten into it by real-life friends, I suppose I could say that. Or more private friends. And then they all left. Yeah. There are only a couple of things I haven't done in this game. One, clearing out all the rewards for teapot furnishing sets. I still need to make my knot one. Teapot 2, and I need to catch up on all the hard mode duels of TCG, though I do play a good deal of TCG. And I need to do hangouts. Yeah, it's so hard to get rid of them when you... It's kind of hard to get rid of them. You never know who might need something. But yeah, that's everyone except Ayato and Ito, who, unfortunately, since they suck, I'm not in any special hurry to catch back up with them. Maybe if and when they get buffed on a second Inazuma Chronicle, but... Oh, and... This is the kind of thing you can only do on mobile, so not right now. And then... a few more perfect clears on rhythm. It's long-termist mentality, because it's not as if I could... I mean, I would just be getting rid of them to get rid of them. There's not much I could really do with them other than Strongbox, I guess. This is probably the hardest vanilla chart. And the wildest thing is that the worst part is at the end. There's what's essentially a kill screen right at the end of just 20 or so rapid notes with precise timing. It's evil. Now this is basically my one game. Like I said, I got my position was eliminated yesterday, which again gives me a lot of time to catch up on my backlog, I guess, but Oh, I was gonna teleport somewhere. That's right, before I forget, let's buy the Nodcry Teapot object and the new blueprints. Now, I need to finish Pokemon Legends ZA. I need to finish Pokemon Pocopia. I need to play more than one session of Metroid Prime 4. I have not gotten a chance to touch it. I need to beat Silksong because I am right at the final boss. I'm gonna have to cheese it because I'm not good enough. Solitary Light in the Long Night, Promising Workshops, Crescent Moon Serenity, and I need to, after about 8 months, go back and actually get more than halfway through Donkey Kong Bonanza. Oh my goodness. Okay, Sphere of Fleeting Shadow. A Nodcry Moon Power Sphere mechanism capable of playing music and producing dazzling light effects is a souvenir brought back from Nodcry by the teapot traveling salesman Chubby. Even a glimpse of the shifting lights cast by the sphere brings faint images to mind, which you can manipulate through the power of subspace creation to create wondrous landscapes of Nodcry in your realm within. I might not say like. It might not be responsible to say like. But. The season just refreshed, but I did do Lunar Mode last season. Which is to say, the better way to explain that might be... This is the Arcana case. Done! All but the current. I'm waiting till we get Linnea seasons of Theater on Lunar. Shoot me a friend request and use my supports if you want. If you're on NA. But... which one? No. This has been unlocked. I gotta use that, don't I? Yeah, I gotta use it. Oh, French. Were you offended when Fontaine's storyline revealed that the French weren't human? I would have been. Shadowfoot Archipelago. Cluster of islands as intricate as a jigsaw puzzle drawn by mysterious mechanisms floating silently in the air far above the ocean surface. Not now. And Twetel Ihuquiquatl. Because you said frog. And do people use that term to refer to Belgians too, or? I've only ever heard that term used to insult the French. Okay, so that means I'm free to deride the French. That's good. Not for the French. But also, let's see. Would have been some slightly different dialogue if we had done Tower of Inversion first. If it was already completed or you avoided the initial quest start point, which can be totally skipped. Okay. If you've already seen him at the tower, I'm sorry, but there isn't much time to show you around. We've got a tough battle ahead, so you've got preparations to make. Best make them quickly. Lead the main force to Cliffwatch Camp, which is his meeting point, and make the first to make the necessary preparations for battle. We'll wait for you to join us there. Got it, we'll be there as soon as possible. Alright, let's see what we've got to prep. I am Nikita, an ordinary Lightkeeper. Oh, this is our first meeting. I'm going to tell you that you're no ordinary people, but we haven't completed Tower of Inversion. We've technically started it, but... have you been practicing your signature in secret or something? Rest assured, though our strength may have waned, we Lightkeepers never fail to reward those who assisted. We decide to be mean. Yep, okay. I see you both attended the oath swearing. Are you also going to eradicate the monsters at Kiwamaki Cliff? That's right, we're temporary members of the investigation team. Told Nikita about how you met Iluga and joined the investigation team. See, that child is truly blessed to have met you both. With your support in the operation, I can rest much easier. I might be saying something unnecessary here, but this is the first time he's captained such a challenging mission. Iluga is no doubt the most outstanding member of the new generation of Lightkeepers, so I'm not worried about his combat abilities. I'm sorry, he is a buffer for Zebai and no one else. He can't do anything. My only worry is that perhaps that's too much fretting. Heard a lot about you. You're an old hand at investigating dangerous places like this. Anyway, I hope the knowledge you've gained in your adventures can help him out. Of course, I am a member of his team, after all. That's right, we do our best to help him, even if you hadn't asked. That's great, shame my legs aren't as nimble as they used to be, otherwise I would have gone to Keepamaki Cliff to face that monster myself. Yeah, so this burden had to be left to the younger generation after all, but Iluga at least has a vision, though I mean, maybe the reason Akita thinks he's going because he knows Iluga's vision is not going to be all that useful. Yeah, I may in fact be John Genshin. Perhaps. My favorite... Oh! That's funny! They know that we'd be going straight for the tower this way, so they put a Winoculus here just by jumping off. That is... They may be encouraging risky behavior. Okay. Got a wind glider. You may or may not know this, but originally the wind glider, you know, because wind anima, was meant to be one of 7 sort of elementally themed items, most of which we've all actually gotten in some form. There was supposed to be a geo block, which is probably either the floating prostrate platforms in Liyue, or just the stones that Geo Traveler can place down. There was supposed to be an electro boat, which became the Wave Rider, a Dendro rope, which became the 4-leaf sigil grapple points, and a... Oh, we can drop down in here and... Excuse me. I guess the Witch's Garden is inside there. Interesting. A Hydro Submarine, I believe, which became diving. A Pyro Cannon, which most likely just became the Yumkasor and Kinich's Flame Granites, and you know, at this point it became a lot less prominent. And then the mirror, in which it became a Cryo Mirror, which became the least prominent, which is just the mirror puzzles on Hisi, which is localized entirely within one single area. Yeah, exactly. Well, only if you're consuming Nightingale song stacks. He can apply more at C2 or higher, which is the only point at which he can use Silken Moon. I hope I get C6 rolling for Linnea. That would be nice. Which is a slightly better version of this. At this point, Zebai would actually slightly overcap on crit, which I'm honestly okay with. And Vaiku, a Lightkeeper. Does he have any special dialogue? Here, no. There have been wild hunt sightings here around the case, but you should keep your distance for your own safety. Yeah, well, if you roll for Linnea, you may pick one up. Or 2, or ideally 3, because otherwise you can't really run him on Silken Moon, because he doesn't have any off-field until C2. I will say, it would have been nice if Zebai could have shown up here. Because there are records in the Frostbane Signs of Zebai. Would have made sense for... I mean, it wouldn't have been all that hard to say, mysterious woman from Liyue has joined us, says he has something to do about protecting the moonlight or whatever. I don't know. Right, thanks for the warning. I'll be fine. It's not that hard to build. Lots of adventurers say that. With confidence, self-danger comes up. Please go straight to a Lightkeeper patrol nearby. You could use... Exile, actually. Goro can use Exile, especially on a team with... He could run Silken Moon. Oh, fair. That's fun. I will say, I do enjoy Nefer gameplay significantly, in the specific sense that... Supposed to be. Yep, now it started. Let's fight. Didn't expect to find abyssal monsters here as well. You probably should have. Okay, well, it's time. Let's unleash the full might of this team. Alright. We don't really have a lot going here. Well, let's just run it here. Oh, Flanefa! So you've more or less got what you needed. Oh my goodness, there's actually a lot here. Okay. Cool. Oh, so we got the corrosion well enough, but there are no entities to attack. That's fine. Okay. Let's get there. Yeah, there's enough line now for it to just go away. We had to fight enough in the wave battle. And now that Moon Spirit is free. Kuhanki just means Moon Spirit in Finnish. I mean, it depends on how big your war chest is. And if you are trying to do endgame reliably, they kind of expect you to get everybody, so it's not dumb. It again just depends on how much you're willing to put forward. Yeah, I like Flynn's, but I will say he is almost too comfortable. I like him against local legends because of his generous iframes. And that's a big difference in terms of how Flynn's and Zubai feel to play, because Flynn's does not have to do a full combo. Zubai does, are losing a lot of damage from the 4th hit in her combo. And also, even though there are some superficial similarities in that they also, you know, their damage is largely distributed between a few hits. Zubai's is horse summons and Flynn's is big lamp attacks. Because it's a burst, Flynn's gets iframes from those. Zubai does not get iframes, which frankly, since she builds defense, doesn't matter all that much. Unless you're fighting in-world local legends. Water the Moonlight is a cloud. I don't. Feel the cotton spring flower's soft, springy touch. And, oh, it was in here. A nightingale bearing an ember in its beak flew only after dusk. So that about Iluga, or just the Lightkeepers in general? Because the nightingale is an emblem of the Lightkeepers as well as Iluga himself. Yeah, because he is kind of the Lightkeeper par excellence, I suppose. Yeah, I roll for C0 and for weapons. The only limited 5-star constellations that I have are pretty early. It's Ganyu and Hu Tao. I should update her artifacts one of these days. When I've got everyone kitted out, but this makes her a lot more fun to play, frankly, though I haven't had a chance to use her. This does not do much. I am really hoping for those Xion faction buffs. And yes, I do call them Xion instead of Adepti. Seriously, the Abyss monsters can make it up here to I. Well, they can kind of fly. I'm not sure why you're so surprised. Okay, cool. Oh, there we go. I'll have to think about that, honestly. Oh, and of course you disappeared. That didn't kill. There we are. Investigate the core shrouded in abyssal energy. Right now, she's on Silken Moon. She can be on Albade, that's right. I have an Albade set for Bloom and Crystallize on her, and a Silken Moon set for Lunar Charge. That is Zubai, Iluga, and soon Linnea versus Nefer, Lama, Nahida, and Flynn's and Sucrose. And my Manakina functions pretty much solely to hold Columbina's second artifact set, which is fine by me. Let's investigate this core, shrouded in abyssal energy, and purify it with our Traveler powers. That's incredibly based. I hate Malvika too. I know this is a pancakes waffles situation, and you didn't say that you hate Malvika, but any Arlecchino fan, and I do have her Sig. She's probably better than mine. When Stygian had the Frost Operative boss that was meant to be an Arla shell, I ended up having to use Malvika. With the same team, more or less, just with Malvika instead of Arla. And Malvika wasn't even being shilled, though anything that isn't immune to Pyro is a Malvika shill. That pot one does feel a teeny tiny bit of moon power in it, but it's all covered in abyssal goop. It can't function at all like this. Traveler, could you try purifying it? No, I hate you. Interesting. There's a lot here. Oh, okay. I mean, that's not too bad, though you would have to probably deliberately take damage, wouldn't you? You know the move that makes all the Abyss corruption go foosh and disappear, which is not purification, it is absorption. We are turning ourselves into a battery of abyssal power. As Skirk. And the Xbox Wings noted, what is all this? Traveler, be careful, don't get hit. Dodge the attacks. My Toho expertise is coming in handy, though it might not be expertise these days. What a mysterious summons coming from the high tower. I mean, if we just move in a circle. And which ones are they? Look out, and oh. Wow, if only Ilga actually had a shield. Oh, hold them off. Get out of here as quickly as you can now. There's no way I'm running away. Heroes of the sublunary sphere, clear the abyssal energy from the core so I can lend you my aid. Of the world beneath the moon. Traveler, what's to it? She says, hello, Palman doesn't know who you are, but we gotta clear that abyssal energy from the core, right? Wait, what are you doing? Purify the abyssal energy. The abyss is beyond your power to resist. Not true. Don't worry, we'll take care of it. Purify the abyssal energy, and he's got this little shield for us, which we can walk right through. Okay. Oh, okay. Now, I don't have Homa. Otherwise, it'd probably be on the tower. This is what things look like for me. On a whim, I went for Song of Broken Pods on Mondstadt Chronicled, so I'd have something to give to Eula, in the hopes that she'll get buffed in 6.6, and I can finally justify building her after having her since Valorian Mirage 2.5 years ago and not building her because she's not really meta. Though, to be fair, Varka's weapon is better on her even while she's not Hexer. Okay. Here we are. Yeah, he just interrupted us when we were doing that before. Are you hurt? We're fine. Thanks for stepping in to help. I'm glad to hear that. Those pitch-black impurities are far more dangerous than they look. Any wounds they inflict can have serious consequences. The Abyss is nothing I can't handle. I remember you back in Pyramida. Yep, you're the one that old man mentioned. We saw you there earlier. Oh, now that you mention it, I did catch sight of a rather unusual little Jack Frost in the crowd. Probably Paimon there. No, it's just... I was not deliberately rolling for refines. What happened on those is I was rolling for both weapons on the banner, in the sense of Durin's signature and Venti's new signature were on the same banner, and after I got Durin's, I rolled for Venti's, and a second one of Durin's came along. And when I rolled for Inef's signature and Nuviet's signature, No, when I was rolling for Zeba's signature, I rolled for Noob's signature first, and got it, and when I was rolling for Zeba's, Noob's came around a second time. It was not anything I deliberately went for. It was just, I wanted both weapons on that banner. Yeah. And to be fair, when I did roll for them, I did specifically... If you're rolling for both weapons, it's best to roll for the one that you would be fine getting a second one first, in case a second one comes along when you're rolling for the other. And it's actually best if you lose to a standard banner weapon at first to reset the fate point, because after the first loss, you're guaranteed one of the banner weapons. But if you're going for both of them, you want to reset the fate point so you can use that guarantee to get one or two for certain. And if you get the one that your fate point hasn't been set to, then the fate point will get you the second one. Yeah, exactly. Because Durin's gives some team buff, and team buff is always more valuable. Paimon's not a Jack Frost. Hee-ho. But at least you wasn't mistaken. Paimon joined your party without your consent. Mistaken for a Spectre this time. Exactly. Now that I'm unemployed, I can play Shin Megami Tensei. That's what I should do. Well, maybe. Now the point, Paimon's the Traveler's Guide. Thank you very much. Oh, my apologies. I assure you I meant no offense, so you're a guide. Now, I want to lose to Jade Spear or Lost Prayer. I don't have Skyward Harp or Jade Spear. I'd like Lost Prayer for Klee. Because I got her on Mondstadt Chronicled this patch, because I didn't have her. And she's kind of okay now. What did you realize? Guiding Outlanders like you two was originally one of our responsibilities as well. It's just that the recent surge in wild hunt activity has made things difficult. Now let's set that aside for now. In any case, your guess is correct. I'm Iluga, captain of the Lightkeepers Investigation Squad, the Nightmare Orioles. It's a pleasure to meet you. I have Skyward Blade, which to be fair is okay on Bennett, but I would prefer... I don't know who I'd use Harp on, honestly. But I'd like Spine, so I can give it to Shenhe. And... yeah. I got Pride and Atlas. Really, it's just I'd like Spine for Shenhe. Yeah. Pride, amusingly, is actually Fremene's best weapon. Because he can actually make... At least if you're running him physical, because he can actually make use of the Wind Blades. Because... his multipliers are so low that the Wind Blades are good for him. Guess is correct. I'm Iluga, captain of the Lightkeepers Investigation Squad, the Nightmare Orioles. It's a pleasure to meet you. Paimon's Paimon. He's the Traveler. We're here on a commission. Actually, that commission has something to do with you. An old lightkeeper asked us to briefly explain how you took on a sudden commission in Pyramida and came to the Pillar of Emblem in search of the silver lampwick. I see he can't keep from worrying about me, huh? Can't blame him, though, because he's my adoptive dad. Honestly, this isn't the best look for me, but I came here looking for the silver lampwick as well. I ended up spending too much time clearing out the monsters in the area, so I've made almost no progress. I've dragged the two of you into danger. On top of that, we're not really worried. That's nothing. These little scrapes don't even make it into our adventure log. Speaking of which, we never got to ask properly. We have to find the Fae named Alia to get the silver lampwick, right? So where exactly are we supposed to look for her? Oh, and that voice we heard earlier, was that her? So you heard it too. That's the golden inscription voice from now on. It's actually Kukulkan. No. Yes, I believe that was her guiding us. Though to be fair, the Fae were basically created using dragon technology, so it makes sense that they have similar telepathic power. Following the moon power's guiding light should lead you to her. Should being the operative term. Right now, that guide is flickering. Do you run him plunger? I'd say it's half the abyssal corruption, half her intention. She's using moon power to obscure that which is truly important, including her own presence. As such, we'll likely need the power of a barrier core to disperse the corruption and restore the barriers in this area. Once the barrier reforms, our now hidden guide should reveal itself. We'll help you. Aha, we've accepted the commission after all, and since the abyss is the cause of all of this, there's no we're just gonna ignore it. But danger lurks behind every corner here, and the terrain is treacherous. Why don't you two wait somewhere safe while I... No way, hey, seriously, aren't you underestimating the Traveler just a little? You saw him in action just now, pretty impressive, right? Honestly, he might even be stronger than you. Might. Fair. Besides, he's got Pum, the ever-reliable guide. Tricky terrain, please, Pum, I can fly. Though you can't carry me. I don't mean to belittle you, but you're ordinary people who were kind enough to help us out. Isn't helping you because of all this. I'm not that weak. I might get annoyed if you don't stop fussing out, honestly. Exactly, just leave it to us. We won't let you down. Alright, then I'll be counting on you, but please be careful. I'll do everything I can to keep you safe as well. If you're ever looking for a reason to use characters you don't normally use, play theater. What kind of build? Is it... Oh, is it Crimson Witch? Or if you're running him plunge, is it Long Night? We will have anything. You should be the one watching your step. Thanks, that said, I also have a companion who can fly. Come on, Adon. Ah, his nightingale who Linnea tried to inspect. Well, he's all golden shiny, just like a pile of more. Don't get greedy, music. Let's start with a barrier core nearby. Once we're close, we just need to channel the moon power into it. Okay, how about that thing's floating in midair? Pom can get there just fine, but you two. No worries, come with me. I'll show you just what Adon can do. Adon's powerful. We get to activate the barrier core. The pure moon power energy that Adon carries can make certain invisible objects appear. Keep moving forward with its help. Iluger, brace yourselves. He's jumping. Let's be a second one. Well, this is safe to stand on, right? It's not going to drop us, is it? Don't worry, this is the path hidden by moon power. Adon's uncovered it for us. Music. Oh, platforming. Uh-oh. Starting to disappear. Oh, and they only appear under elemental side if they're currently revealed, so we can't cheese it. That's good, I suppose. Okay, my Arla, who again, poor her, mogged by Malvika. Yeah, she has a, I believe this is one I was originally using on Sino. There was a time where my Sino had a gladiator set, and now I don't even really use him. It's sad. Yeah, gladiator's off-piece. To be fair, she can actually just use gladiators proper, because most of her damage is coming from normals, but... And of course, there's a Linoculus up there, too. If we climb. And oh, that's moving. I don't crown a lot of characters. I've only ever used 2 crowns. Bennett Burst and Jean-Wing Burst. Because it... I mean, mind you... I've been playing. If I'd been playing from the start, I probably would have every character leveled by now. But being behind by, 8 months? Yeah, 7 or 8 months is rough. Yeah, And mind you, I had Bennett C6 before it was cool. Because I don't respect physical touching and Eula. Even Eula mains have C6'd Bennett by now. It just... this is good. And the funniest thing about it is this enables on-field Durin, which I've run a few times. And the main reason you'd want that, honestly, is that Durin's burst is not snapshot. So Durin is only getting Bennett's buff to his burst damage as long as he's actually on-field in the circle. Which, to be fair, is probably going to be something Nicole will fix by giving an off-fielder attack buff for a team that has decently spread out damage between Fanny, Durin, and Varka. But with Chevy, Bennett, Fischl, and oh no, there's a Moonlane back. That's convenient. Platforms are all gone, I suppose, probably. With Fischl, Chevy, Bennett, and Durin, I've run on-field Durin. In endgame, for one fight in theater, actually. I'd like him to be stronger, because I think he's super cool. And I think Sugita is really cool. And I need to stop LARPing and actually watch Gintama now that I'm not employed. Because I see a bunch of quips on Twitter, and they're always incredibly hilarious. But any kind of genuinely flexible character is going to have a lower power budget to compensate for that, so they don't obviate the existence of all other characters. And of course, a lot of that is for money, but it is good for balance too. To be fair, Pyro is head and shoulders above other things, but I have had to run other Varkas in theater, because there was no Pyro option, really. Well, to be fair, you could run Durin and Bennett, but there were guest characters who couldn't benefit from the buffs. But in theater, I ran Electro Varka, I ran Hydro Varka. Well, for Hydro for a Lunar Charge team, but it's nice that he's pretty flexible. And I wouldn't say it entirely makes up for him being a little bit weaker, but he is also a bit of an AoE-focused character too, because he's the only modern character who can really run crowd control in the team, unless you want to argue for Kaza for Mavica, which is only really good at higher Kaza constellations anyway. But who can fit real crowd control into his team without it being a significant loss in some other way. He's a bit more I like that. What are your thoughts on Chevreuse? But, you know, you can run Flynn's Overload. Tulpa is going to be in Stygian in a couple of patches. And people are saying it's the best team to run against that is Flynn's Overload with Chevy, because you don't have to worry about anyone applying Hydro. So you run something like Flynn's, Chevy, Inefa, and probably Bennett. Wise. I mean, not to thirst post. I mean, I'm not going to be the one to break that taboo. If you want to, you can, and then I'll enjoy. But you can probably imagine. I'll stay here to keep channeling energy into the barrier core, Maya, and trust the other side to you too. Adon will lead the way. If Adon's helping out, we'll be totally fine. You can leave it to us. Thank you. That means we'll be apart for a bit. Stay safe, YouTube. Stay safe, YouTube. Eluga. Oh, dialogue. Oh, the barrier core over there in your care. Adon, make sure you keep them safe and sound. Well, the main thing is that it's not... Oh my... Ooh. Okay. Wait. Okay, no, that's just Adon helping us. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I don't care. I don't care. I've lived too long to live by lies. I also like Chevy because she's one of the few characters who wear tights. There you go. It's over. They're gonna kill me now. They should. But, as I was saying... So we're just gonna have to jump up, or is there anything getting elevated? Oh, we go down here and... Leap of Faith. So this is actually moving back and forth. But the main thing is just... Columbina, I mean, to be fair, her actual Hydro damage is not amazing, but it is kind of meaningful. Exactly. For the sake of Chevy. The most American Genshin. Phew, we finally made it through. Now we just need to fill it up with some energy, right? Just trying to think. I will say, as someone who liked Escaffier's story quest and likes Escaffier as a character, I think she kind of passes the boundary of taste in design. It's not true tights, but just trying to think. It's weird what they did with Chiori to the point that it's these weird hybrids. I don't like them much. It's just bizarre. I mean, it's... and I like how they're not really, how they're prosthetics, but... Don't really care for this. This is classic, of course. Absolutely classic. I mean, I will also say, I always put on costumes if I've gotten them, but... I mean, there's a reason that like, half of all thirst posts were Ganyu thirst posts. Yeah, well, exactly, but they're prosthetic limbs, if you didn't remember. I mean, gloves and stockings aesthetic is hard to beat. And I do like the fact that they just look like that. Which, to be fair, we didn't know until, and the fact that they appear kind of ripped is pretty grisly in the context that, I mean, okay, yeah. Yeah, they weren't clean wounds. They nuggetized our girl. It's sad. But Sirtology did it, which is why we have to kill him. In 5 years, obviously, when they decide to do the follow-up. Yeah. That's a big old pulse, ain't it? Oh, and it summons lots of things. Well, there we go. Our work has been laid out for us. And we were dropped unceremoniously. Hopefully they teleported us before Illiga hit the ground and died an unceremonious death. Exactly. You have to do it naked with a Nagakiba and a pot on your head. On the topic of the Nagakiba, I tried using Piercing Fang when I played Elden Ring, and it was cheesy, which means emulate me. I focused either on, depending on the fight, if they were primarily weak, and I would look on the wiki to see what damage type they were weakest with. If they were weakest to an elemental damage type, I would run projectiles of that element, which did mean I basically never used magic damage, because magic damage is just magic physical. It's never the most effective against anything unless it's tied, and that's just the Falling Star Beasts, actually. The one time I used magic, except against a Falling Star Beast, which every time I fought it with magic damage, so I'd have a reason to use magic damage, was I used Comet Azure on Godskin Duo after sleeping both of them to, blast them both at once and kill them without a phase transition. It was very fun. Well, not a phase transition proper, but kill them without 2 more showing up, because normally you fight 4 in total over the course of the fight, or at least 4 health bars worth. But it's just like 4 Kings. Not really, though, in Dark Souls 1. But, so I'd be using Lion's Claw on swords and hammers, and since most piercing weapons can't get Lion's Claw, I'd be using Impaling Thrust on spears. I tried using Piercing Fang, which I got from Yura's Nagakiba, but it's honestly just too slow. Exactly! If Arlecchino can show up in Nodcry, she gets to help us fight our Sirtology too, obviously. Where are we? What is this place? Everything around us looks completely different. Paimon thinks she saw a bunch of weird stuff just now. I do. I may have to taper things down due to recent life developments that I mentioned before, but I went from Welkin plus Battle Pass to crystals, like I said, for weapons, though to be fair, I'm kind of done catching up on things, I'd say. I mean, it's not gonna really be that bad. And then maybe I can pester people for money or something. Obviously. Shameless. Pamon, I mean, the first word in my name, and the name I made for myself, does basically mean, one of its multitudinous meanings can mean shamelessly begging for money. It can also mean a skill tree in Sekiro, which was a happy coincidence. Pamon thinks she saw a bunch of weird stuff just now, and now her head's all spinny. Yeah, me too. Travelers flowing along the river of time. Wait, who are you? When did you get here? Oh, well, I heard someone calling my name. Was that not you? Calling your name Odyssey must be Miss Alia, the fae who guards the silver lampwick here at the Pillar of Embla. Yeah, Welkin plus Battle Pass was more or less what they expected for the longest time, and it does give... Oh, she's got Treasure Hoarder Raven. Interesting. To more or less get characters as they come out, but not really weapons. You can get everything C0R0, but with Stygian, they kind of expect you to get C0R1. So I had to pull on the purse strings. Relic Fae, so that's what become in your time, a legend far removed from the truth. But she was a Frostmoon scion, so you can tell by the antlers. I'm no Fae, I'm just an ordinary human. The silver, you are not ordinary, you've got deer antlers. Silver Lampwick is indeed here, but where did you? Fair. Now let me ask it this way, since you know the Lampwick, you must have heard the name Solvay as well. In your time, which age does he belong to? 500 years past. Do you mean the torch forger you found of the Lightkeepers about 500 years ago now? 500 years, so it's already been that long. Wait, so you're not a Fae? Then hang on, are you seriously over 500 years old? Well, it's really more or less a computerized projection of her. The legends may have twisted part of the truth, but if you were the torch forger's ally and you can wield moon power to guard the relic here, Miss Alia, you've clearly gone far beyond what ordinary mortals can reach. That's a long story, and right now, there are things far more important than my age. If you come seeking the Silver Lampwick, that means the professor has slipped free again. Yep, Rotwing. Or Rothvangi. Just as the prophecy warned, Solvay's seal was never going to hold him forever. If you're going to lose your 50-50 to someone, I guess Tianari would be the best. Maybe Mona at this point, because of Hexerai. But notably, Tianari is the only character, period, with a non-Hoyo character designer who we explicitly know that to be the case. Because when Tianari first came out, his designer, who is Paco, a Japanese artist who notably makes almost all of Fate's Indian characters, is Mahabharata characters like Arjuna, Karna, Duryodhana, Bhima, Asvadaman, etc., as well as the Nobinagas. He revealed that he had made Tianari on his Twitter. And what's very funny, honestly, is that notably, like, most of Fate's dark-skinned characters are all Indian guys designed by Paco. So it is very funny that Hoyo, of all companies, would hire him to make an Indian character and say, well, actually, technically, Tianari is more Arabic, but, in Sumeru. And then be like, yeah, make him white. Not to get too much into discourse. I will say that, it isn't ideal, but there's a big difference between how Western fans react and people from the actual regions react. Because, as a Wasian, I will speak to this. Oh, nice. Oh, yeah, because you're a Euro of unspecified provenance, that's right. Yeah, because it's... as a Wasian, it's... You're divorced from your source culture. Looking different from everyone else is honestly the core of identity, for better or worse. So in terms of debates about representation in the West, color and appearance takes a lot more pride of place compared to, the actual source cultures. Oh, nice, nice. Slavic? Balkan? Come seeking this... It is notable. I mean, because Hungarian. Hungary kind of straddles the line between... Okay, Balkan. Nice. Mm-hmm. You know, average, you know... you know, if every man... You know, some men spend multiple minutes a day thinking about the Roman Empire. But there are some men who spend multiple minutes a day mourning the fall of Yugoslavia. Yuga nostalgia, etc. Or whatever. But it... Oh, goodness. All of it. Yeah. Professor slipped through again, just as the prophecy warned. Solveig's seal is never going to hold him forever. By the Professor, do you mean the fiend who was sealed within Keep Amaki Cliff 500 years ago by the Torchforger and the Moonshander of the Frostmoon Scions? Prophecy says this twice shall that undying serpent rise again, but thrice shall he be struck down. Serpent, fiend, or professor, no matter the title, he's earned every bit of his infamy. It says he'll be struck down a third time then. I remember Isla saying something similar as well when we went inside the Frostmoon Scions chamber. Fair. It... Something Carthago delenda est. Sort of, you know, Rome good, Rome bad, Rome complicated. Oh, it... What part did Balkans... Georgia? What part of... Just trying to think... Eastern Roman Empire? It... That's Dalmatia and Macedon. Guy who has to look up a map of Europe. Hi. Croatian, Serbian, Bosnian, Kosovar, Macedonian, Albanian, Montenegrin, Bulgarian. That's a bit too far east. Okay, yeah, Latin Balkan. You're making me think of the 10 Montenegrin commandments. Ten Montenegrin commandments. Man was born tired, and he lives to rest. 2, love your bed as you love yourself. Spelled it wrong. 3, rest during misplaced comma day, comma. So during night you can sleep. 4, do not work, work kills. 5, if you see someone resting, help him. 6, work less than you can, and what you can give away to other. Should have been others. In shade is 7, save is salvation. Nobody has died, it should be died of rest. 8, work brings illness. Don't die young. 9, if by chance you wish to work, sit, wait, you will see, it will pass you. 10, when you see others eating and drinking, come closer. If you see them working, move away. Do not disturb them. I think everybody should follow those, frankly. They had it right. Okay. Interesting. You're gonna make me play the Balkan guessing game. Okay. What countries are in the Balkans? I should know better than to trust a Google AI summary, but are you Turkic? By most definitions. Controversial definitions of the Balkans. Some definitions include Hungary and Moldova. Some include Trieste in northern Italy, which is... Does that include Fiume? Does that include Fiume? It's not Fiume. Or Fiume. Okay, Fiume is now actually just solidly Croatian. Okay. The Adriatic question. It's notably in the lead up towards World War II, some silly Italians tried to take it. Yeah, the undertaking of Fiume, led by Gabriele D'Annunzio. Notably, arguably either the first fascist or proto-fascist, depending on how you want to claim that provenance, who notably, in his constitution, claimed music as an organizing principle of the undertaking, because he was a total crackhead. Okay. Back when the Frostman signed Sanctum with Verna, heard something like that from Isla, her sister. Obviously, I met Isla too, but a curious twist of fate. But this is Genshin, not fate. But again, hers is less a prophecy that's bound to happen, and more a plea for it to happen. After all, Oracle or no, she is just like me, a person from the past. When it comes to future disasters, there's so little we can do. Because to an extent, these are more or less recorded messages, aren't they? Oh, okay, our future became your present, and your future can only be shaped by those who live in the present. Okay, okay. Greece is cool. It'd be nice to go one day. I mean, I learned the alphabet 2 times. One for... One in middle school for a history unit on Greece, and second in Colleague for a class I took on the New Testament. Interesting. Are you Turkic? Is it that one video where it's a Greek and a Turk arguing over which one of them is more white? I think there should be, to work out the differences, like an annual Olympic Games that's just Greece and Turkey in various sorts of, Highland Games or Nomad Games style, ethnic, sort of, classic historic sports. So, like, they need pancration or whatever. They wouldn't have to do it in the nude, though. It doesn't have to be that authentic. Okay. Forgive the interruption. 3 years ago, some senior lightkeepers and I went to investigate a disturbance in the seal, but we were hit by an ambush none of us expected. Our losses were severe and the mission had to be called off. That's probably how he got these scars. His father was a drinker. After that, the old man decided we weren't yet ready to solve the problem once and for all. He set up observation posts around the area, declaring it off limits. I know he intended to buy time, gather strength, and look for a way to turn the tide, but still. I shouldn't question his judgment, yet I can't help wondering, isn't this situation the result of negligence on our part? We hesitated and dallied, and now the great evil eye and countless monsters have come spilling out beyond the cordon zone. Just thinking about the nightmare from 3 years ago being poured out over this land again, I just can't stand it. Yoruga. Apologies, Traveler and Paimon and Miss Ali. I lost my composure just now. Sorry about that. And I don't know all the details of which you speak, but a dull blade. We replace that with prototype rancor, must sometimes be owned before it can cut true again. The kind of sharpening is never wasted effort. I can slow down a little. Though I admire 60s and 70s television. We've got to elevate things. We've got to take things up a little. Develop intelligence. Okay, there's a lot here. And it's Tower of Inversion. Software version 7.0. It's concurrent. Oh, it's... Welcome back, Bala. I am speaking with someone from Eastern Europe, from the Balkans. We're playing a guessing game while I try to figure out what part of the Balkans they're from. But also, apparently they have an Italian middle name. But they're not Italian or Greek. So we're trying to narrow things down exactly. Hello. And a sharpening is never wasted effort. Besides, surely the world 500 years on isn't so small that all its burdens must be piled onto the shoulders of a single child. Child, you mean me, but I'm not a child anymore. He's just short. Well, think about it. Strictly speaking, I'm a few centuries older than you. How could you not be a child in my eyes? Compared to me, you're all pretty much children. Paimon may be sure, but why am I a child too? Fair. Okay. Let's play this Balkans guessing game. Hey, what's with that tone? Aren't you happy to be called a child alongside Paimon, huh? Palm does think Miss Alia has a point. This isn't something you should have to carry on your own. It's on all of us. If we're assigning blame, then I deserve it more than anyone here. Back then, I failed to truly destroy the professor. The professor. And since then, I've wasted away in this stagnant prison of time. Even now, I cannot give you the silver lampwick you came for. Miss Alia, don't say that. Go ahead with your fun facts. Wait, does that mean the silver lampwick isn't actually with you? How should I put this? It both is and isn't. In your present, this tower has been deeply corrupted, and this prevents me from freely using my power to reach the silver lampwick. What if we clear the corruption from the tower? That would be ideal. The tower's presence allows the moon power here to remain in its purest form. You've already seen the creatures born from its influence. If the moon has blessed you, you may be able to use that same power to cleanse the filth clinging to the tower and restore its purity. Once you've cleared the corruption, the strength I've lost gathers at the tower's peak once more. Come find me then. Thank you for your guidance, Miss Alia, and please don't blame yourself too much. I know what you want to say, and if you're willing to forgive me, don't be so harsh on yourself either. The past is beyond change, but the world of the living still has a future, and I'm entrusting that future to you. Alright, it's time I sent you back. And oh, the evil eye of decay. You don't have much time, please help me deal with what's left of the abyssal corruption on the ground. Cleanse the corruption throughout the area and restore the barrier core. After talking with Alia, you learned that to obtain the silver lampwick, you must first clear the corruption throughout the tower to restore her power. The power tower. Tower of power. And it's 3 locations over here, and that one seems to want us to come back maybe a little bit after. And it turned out that they gave you a gun to kill annoying customers? Wow, finally. Took them long enough. Got a fruit. Well, we can't do anything with this, really. Not right now. Corombina. Barrier core is damaged and the spot a link to recover. And, come on. Let's run this here. Okay, cool. Double trigger, and 2, 3, 4. That was maybe a little wasted. Hit. The application is not all that impressive. And oh, we got bubbled on. I don't like that much. Stop. The already unstable ground cracks after the tremors, and we got dropped down into a cave. Of course we did. Does not appear to be an extra layer on the map, and now it's time to use these blades. Let's look at the tutorial that I got a couple months back. And then you got robbed. Oh no. Blight Sea Fields, Abyssal entities in the area, Abyssal Rift Lines, Spire Boom's Light Blade, sever the weak nodes. It's just like the seaweed in Fontaine. Sever them to block the malign influence. Glimmer fruit, a single powerful one. Sloth sheep. I should remember these. Suffused berry will melt. Spirit booms with shields. Spire booms a shield. Hold to deploy and unleash the light blade. Tap to switch. Followed objects. Deflecting counterattack. Release a more powerful light blade. As in release the attack, or release the shield, or use the attack. It's not entirely clear. I guess we can figure it out. Okay. It's a parry. It's just like a Souls game. Not really. Well, honestly, kinda. Kinda. Multiple connected. Start with the periphery. The border of the world. We've already been there to fight fishers. Okay. And why did she go there? Oh, to talk to you. And we can switch the skill. Let's use him. can tap for that. Holds it down. And now we can sever these all at once, right? You should be able to. Nice. Oh, it's change orientation. Oh no, now we have to fight Traveler. Ready yourself for battle. And we just got hit. Oh my goodness. Didn't even let us pick. Let's sever all of these if we can. And honestly, we can just fight using these, can't we? Yeah. It's funny this way. Oh, alright. And that seems to only be blocking abyssal attacks. We got exactly 3. Okay. There we are. Oh, and you are notably a lot harder to deal with. This is not how we're supposed to handle you. That makes sense, unfortunately. Okay. Cool. And, you know, we could have used Rapid, I guess. Oh, it's some fissures. Just to generate particles with Fab. I think that would have been a good idea. Now we can restore the barrier core. Okay. Ah, the Shattered Barrier Core. Barrier cores have the power to clear abyss corruption and reconstruct barriers. Although the barrier cores have shattered, perhaps their original power can be restored by using moon power to absorb the fragments and repair them. Oh, so that's basically a cutout. Okay. Snap to it. There we go. That's one of them. The tower stands the hubris of ambition. They'll never see that true Elysium can only be built upon the ground. That's fun. Because again, this is literally a Tower of Babel. Or an attempt at one. And it turned out that I was there, robbing the store. Sorry. And who is... Oh, one of those guys. Scions. I do. That's one way to do a meet and greet. Yeah, you're the manager, or the ballager. Your material interests are a little different. Okay. I think that's gonna summon an enemy, right? What? Okay. Just a free chest. That's nice. Shelter in the city of the ever watchful. Okay. Final Spire Bloom. And that one is just right there, right? Oh, will it not work because of the issue on the ground? No, it's still fine, but we should... Oh, we can't clear those at the moment. Interesting. Well, it's time for fun. We need to switch back to our actual combat skills. And they've even got Geo in case we were using Orga. Oh, nice. Okay. And let's just get some Fab here. Cool. And... But we hit both of them. We didn't hit either of them. Okay, that's ridiculous. Oh, please. We're getting hit by nobody's business. That's lame. Okay, we need to sever the abyssal reflexes wrapped around the core. Zebai is dangerously close to death. It's just sad. Really. Tapping. Switch direction. Go vertical. And up here. And oh, they got more. Where is our Spire Bloom? Do we need to find another somehow? Maybe. Yeah. It's not really back there. I cannot entirely tell how it... It's probably another around here. Yeah, we've got it. Until the puzzle is cleared. Oh, so if you get dumb, you may screw yourself by wasting the Spire Blooms in the air and maybe have to reset it somehow. Interesting. And let's line this up as vertically as possible. This is fun. It is just like the Fontaine puzzle. And now we can fix this place. Yeah, I mean, that is presumably it. That's another one. An undying fane won't fall to steel, when something equally deathless can strike it down, such as the iron-bound will beneath a mask of silver. The hedgehog. So the last one's over there, but let's, you know, it's within walking distance. Let's maintain immersion. No teleporting while the quest is on. You should hire me. Now that I'm out of my previous job. Should come to Italy and work the store. Yeah. Maybe. Oh, and you can see that each of them is kind of close to one of these sub-pillars. Okay. Now, if she was making pizza, I'd understand. Making pizza's hard. Divine Pillars or Roots. So it's that one over there. Okay. That Spire Woman there. Interest. Oh, so we're going. In order to get in, we're gonna have to connect. Oh, okay. Yeah. Because we can't get in here. Yep, it's actually a wall. That means using these little dudes to connect. Isn't that right? It's basically redstone. Okay. Drop that down and... should be one more somewhere, right? It's not as if we can maintain the connection on our own. And will that grow? It won't grow back, will it? Oh, it will grow back. There we go. So that is exactly how we're going to handle that. Okay. Goodbye, fruit. Lots of geckos in here. So the others were combat, spire bloom puzzle, this connection puzzle. Oh, this isn't going to be easy. If we can guide the moon power into the deepest part, we should be able to break the abyss's hold. Yeah. So I presume you shot her with the gun that turns people into spaghetti. Drastic, but probably justified. Intricate blooms. Tap Q to secure the energy core in place. A strange plant that coexists with moon power energy, seemingly linked invisibly to certain nearby objects that is not a fruit. For absorbing the energy core of the intricate bloom, control the length of the connection between the energy core and the intricate bloom to rotate or move specific surrounding objects. After rotating or moving to a specific location, tap to release in order to secure the link between energy cores and intricate blooms, fixing nearby objects in place. Okay. And hit. When we pulled that, it created the connection on its own. And did it for free. So I suppose this is a trial of... okay. That's fine. Shards are just going up there. Okay. It's another one. What else is in here? If anything. Oh goodness. That's genuinely embarrassing. Oh goodness. And head to the top of the tower. The silver lamp lit by its glow, the ancestors of the Frostmoon Side spend their way to the unending darkness. Perhaps not Gretna stands in need of a guiding light just the same. Oh, so if we're going up, that we can get them an Oculus along the way. Right. You have to say colleague, right? I remember when we used to argue about that. Yeah. Because don't you guys say colleague instead of coworker? Or are you saying coworker instead for my sake? Because you've given up fighting. And now we have a moonlight all the way back here, but there's a tiny little bit of purple at the end. The corruption has not been fully cleansed, it seems. What are we going to need to do? cry, obviously. And now there's... Oh. Oh, okay. You're not by name? Are they not allowed to use your name? Oh, wow. Alright, the moon power is showing us the way quite clearly now. Let's head to the top of the tower. While we're here, we may as well. And are there... No, the others were close enough. That was the farthest away. The others did not need another moon lane to take us there. Oh! What is that evil eye doing? Shooting me, obviously. They have to respect your authority, obviously. Otherwise, you're going to shoot them with a gun that turns them into spaghetti. I know how this stuff works. Oh. So I think we'll pick this up automatically on the way up, right? Yeah, we will. Into the rift again. Touch the core. Touch. Okay. And it does look a little different. It kind of looks like a Magatama. Okay, so I wonder if they had... This is actually Inazuma too. Kidding. Honestly, maybe not. It is all islands. Oh, it's you. You've returned. Apologies for the long wait, Miss Ollie. We ran into some monsters on the way back. On the way there, not the way back. Okay. And... It's alright to me, that was barely a blink of an eye. Oh, my apologies, that was a slip of the tongue. Yeah, it's not like you can grow a beard to look older. Or maybe you could, but that would raise some questions. And the way you tense up like that does remind me a little of Solove. No wonder that Nightingale chose to stay by your side. I imagine you probably already thought about this, but I do hope that they don't ever try to question rank. Okay. Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, I think there's a difference between, normal, a normal femme stash like most women do have if they don't wax it off, and a beard. The way it shrinks up like that does remind me a little of Solove. No wonder that Nightingale chose to stay by your side, because Iluga is our only true Lightkeeper character. Flynn's is not really a Lightkeeper, or at least he's more than a Lightkeeper. Okay. You know about Adon too? Wait, is he also a bird from 500 years ago? There's no way right. Quite perceptive, Pum, and your guess is correct. No, it is. What? Oh, Pum had a feeling Adon was special. You can tell right away he's not just any messenger bird. He was once Solove's Nightingale, Iluga important, following him from their homeland to this bitter frontier. Later, when Solove... That's right, you did switch. That's right. You just have to swear in Italian. Marinara. Resolved to cast aside the Nightingale family name and to drive the bird away. Couldn't let it end up homeless, so I took it in. Do you mean PCOS? POCS is people of color. Could never have foreseen that the small act would see it pulled into the Sampo Mill. Carried across 500 years has taken the form you see now, the Sampo Mill. Sampo Mill is, of course, basically a 3D printer. Yeah, every time they mention Finnish, I just think of Noita, which I do need to play. Because the Sampo is basically the item you get at the end of the game in that game. Consider you first mistook me for a Fae. It's not surprising that the term is unfamiliar to you. So much time has passed after all. It's, again, a matter generator made by the Hyperboreans. Well, happy early morning, Italian. You'll have to face the professor yourself soon, won't you? While we still have a moment, I believe it is necessary to first tell you the true history, the truth of the serpent's first death. For just as I am no Fae worthy of worship, this tower you call the Pillar of Embla is no divine miracle. On the contrary, this is the place where I slew that serpent for the first time. It failed to consign him to hell for good. They use hell a lot in translation, which I think is honestly... I'm not sure how good of a translation that is, because that's a very culturally specific concept. That I don't think... Yeah. Hour G2, just seasonal. At that time, the professor erected a tower here, one that reached toward the very heavens. He sought to use the Sampo Mill to siphon the land's power, and through that tower, ascend to the Elysium he believed lay beyond the sky, which might be either celestial or just the abyss. Space. Because space is the abyss, and abyss is space. You could get an air filter, honestly. Reduce the dust in your room. Or just open a window. If you can do that in Europe, I don't know. Honestly. Had his scheme succeeded, all of Nodcry, its soil and every... Oh, well, could get a filter for the store. Every living being upon it would have become fuel for his ascent. Honestly, you could abuse your authority and probably have it reimbursed. Okay. We did all we could to stop him, but we were far too weak. By the time we reached this place, he was but one step shy of his goal. With no other recourse, I cast myself into the Sampo Mill, used my own flesh and blood to ignite it, thwarting that serpent's plot. And thinking back on it now, that was the first and the last time I ever felt grateful for the bloodline I was born with. Because it's a net terminal genes tech situation, I believe, where you've got to be a Frostmoon scion to activate. As I've said before, I am no more than a mortal. It was by a twist of fate alone that I came to linger in the scene between time and space. Miss Alia. As for the serpent's second death as Solveig's successor, you should know that story even better than I. Yes, it is said that 500 years ago, the Moonchatter of that era trusted the sacred blade, which is probably the Moonweaver's Dawn that we got inside the Sanctum. Moonchatter of that era entrusted the sacred blade to the Torchforger, and together with many others, they drove the fiend and his followers back to Kipamaki Cliff, and sealed him there. In the end, the Moonchatter and the Torchforger sealed the monster with their own hands. Twice shall that undying serpent rise again. So how long ago was Isla, then? Well, that was around when Hyperborea fell, so more than 500 years ago. Would they let you wear a face mask? Twice shall that undying serpent rise again, and now we stand at the third and final time. The moment when that serpent must be buried for good. Twice shall that undying serpent rise again, but thrice shall he be struck down, and at last shall he be laid to rest by the heroes of the sublunary sphere that is the world beneath the moon. Rest assured, Miss Alia, this time we will put him down for good. We will not allow past tragedies to repeat themselves. Yeah, we'll help too. We're sealing away Ganondorf. Really, but you two. Wait, do you mean that once you get the silver lampwick from Miss Alia, you won't need our help anymore and we can just part ways? How heartless, I'm so hurt. Like I'd ever sit back and let villains run wild. Yeah, honestly, you should look into it. There's not a single bad guy out there who hears our names doesn't start shaking in their boots. Well, I don't imagine Rathvangi knows who we are. Even those abyss monsters without legs would be shaking all over. Anyway, there's no way we just ignore something evil. You can leave your back to me. If it's dusk, wearing a face mask wouldn't have to be an N95, even just cloth. It would stop the dust from going right into your nose. Traveler, with such the heroes of the sublunary sphere to rely on, I suppose it's time I made up my mind as well. Once I hand you the silver lampwick, the barriers in this region will all collapse. When that happens, the abyss will reclaim this place. The professor will surely return. Reaching that Elysium beyond the firmament through this tower was his life's obsession. Even in death, that fixation has never faded. I will use everything I can to hold him here. While I do, you must find a way to end him for good. But as of right now, it is stopping you from doing your job. So make your decision, but don't waffle. Pancake. The one who asks, or maybe even French toast. Maybe a crepe or a strudel. Okay, joke's not funny anymore. The one who asks you to gather the relics must already have a plan in place. You do well to follow his instructions. Miss Alia, if you do that in you, you'll disappear. Don't worry, no one shall send me packing from this world until that wretched serpent is laid to rest for good. There's an old saying about winter Isalias. I don't know if it still survives a new era. Though the flower may fail, the leaves will keep their promise. Sorry, I've never heard it. Is that so? A pity, but it doesn't matter. All you need to understand is this. What I do now is simply a promise I must uphold. Miss Alia, I'll keep my promise too. I swore to you, no matter what happens, I will put an end to the professor. Not you, but all of you. No one should walk their path alone, Ilga. No one should march alone toward death. Don't forget that we're here too. Yeah, and it's not just us. There are tons and tons of Lightkeepers who have your back. Will be totally fine. I either take allergy medication or just wear a mask. No one needs you to suffer. This is entirely your own self-imposed condition. Paimon, Alia, do you think Illiga's a girl? Not just us. There are tons and tons of Lightkeepers who have your back. Will be totally fine. There's no time left. I must send you off now. Don't look back. Run, children, run. And oh, not good. We got kinda abyssified again. Oops. Did we get our lamp wick or something? Or we were teleported to some location, weren't we? Maybe. Looks like a big thorny vine. Uh-oh, the Pillar of M was totally overrun by the Abyss. Paimon sure hopes Miss Ollie is okay. We just have to trust her and focus on what we can do. Yeah, we gotta keep it together, especially at times like this. We're next, Iluga. You know the situation best, so we'll follow your lead. I'll head out to Quiff Watch Camp at the base of Kibimaki Cliff to meet up with my team, prepare for the upcoming operation. That's okay. As I mentioned, that area is considered extremely dangerous, a forbidden zone. What awaits us there will be a tough fight and dangers beyond imagination. You two aren't Lightkeepers, so technically I don't have the authority to command you. Given the situation, why not count us in? Enjoy bullerking. Paimon agrees, we've got some experience too, you know, and for big operations like this, it's definitely better to follow orders than go it alone. Lead us to victory, Captain. Thank you, hearing that gives more courage even in the face of our enemies than you know. I hereby officially invite you to join my investigation squad, the Nightmare Orioles. I'll guide you, protect you, and uphold my promise to Miss Alia. We'll protect you too and the rest of your team. Let's stand together and see this through, and that we will. Still, this was a sudden development, so if you need to make any preparations, use what time remains to us. A tough battle awaits, so there's no such thing as too prepared. I'll stick to the original plan and head for Quiff Watch Camp first. I'll wait for you there. Got it, we'll be there as soon as possible, over by Kibimaki. Take care until then. Silver Lamp Wick, a sacred lamp capable of forming a protective barrier, shimmering with energy and shining brilliantly, brimming with energy. Once a ritual vessel of the Frostmoon Science, it looks a bit as a flower in the middle here. Brought dreams and song to the lost people wandering the desolate lands. It has survived to this day only because it was left behind in the time-stilled tower. And okay, the chest is right here. We got a seal. He made Kiss from a Rose. Kiss by a Rose. Iris Moon Seal. Wave Chaser Plain, Ashfield Peak. Because this is iridescent, iris, iridescent. The first ones, in the first era, were all Evermoon seals. So... okay. Oh! The sign pops up. Makes it pop up. Okay. Warning, Dreadshade Mire poses severe danger. Entry is not advised. Visibility is low due to thick fog, and wild hunt creatures roam the area. Okay. We'll do that later, not now. The chest was right there, which is convenient. When war songs rise, go to Quiff Watch Camp. You have agreed to meet Oguga at Quiff Watch Camp. Once preparations are complete, take part in the next phase of the operation. And the Moonlit Watcher walk with Iluga. The Lightkeeper station at Quiff Watch Camp seemed to run into some trouble, and also there were some variants of dialogue based on what we've previously done in the quest we just did. And Vlaiku. And if we haven't done that there, if the player has not completed the initial meeting at Pyramida, strong as you may be, it's my duty as a Lightkeeper to remind you not to let your guard down. The strange little Jack Frost you're carrying doesn't appear suited for combat either. This is the end here where he, has us go to Quiff Watch Camp. Right. The main force has already completed. You're the one that old man mentioned, saw you there earlier, and now that you mentioned it, did catch sight of a rather unusual little Jack Frost in the crowd. And has not completed. In any case, your guess is correct. I'm Eluga. Captain, haven't done that. He introduced himself. I'm Eluga, Captain of the Lightkeepers Investigation Squad, the Nightmare Orioles. It's a pleasure to meet you. Paimon's Paimon, and he's the traveler or adventurers. We noticed abyssal corruption here, so we came over to investigate. You knowingly stepped into an area tainted by the abyss. That's well, in this case, this place is far too dangerous. I should get you both back down first. Huh, but what are you doing here? You don't have to patrol a place that's dangerous, do you? Honestly, this isn't the best look for me. I came here in search of a sacred relic. I ended up spending too much time clearing out the monsters in the area, so I've made almost no progress. You haven't done that. Speaking of which, but a relic, how would have anything to do with that strange voice you heard earlier, something about the heroes of the sublunary sphere? I heard that Faye's call as well, and that seems she's acknowledged you too. Wait, what, the Faye? What Faye? Well, I should probably start from the beginning. The relic we're searching for is the Silver Lampwick, one of 3 sacred artifacts, the sword, the lamp, and the mirror, used by the Torchforger 500 years ago to defeat the fiend of Kibamaki Cliff. It can deploy a bearer capable of resisting the Wild Hunt, with the Wild Hunt resurfacing at Kibamaki Cliff. The old man sent us out to recover it. It is said that after the calamity was quelled, the Torchforger entrusted the relic to Alia, the Fae who guards the Pillar of Embla. Well, how are we supposed to meet her then? This place doesn't exactly look like somewhere a Fae would live. She's not a Fae, though. Yeah, we're great at tracking things down. If the abyss is to blame, there's no way of turning a blind eye. And if we haven't done that... Right, and only if we've seen Iowa in the Hesiodon quest can we say that. Yes, though, rather than a prophecy designed to happen, I'd say this is more like an earnest plea. After all, the one who gave that prophecy was just like me. She was someone from the past. Comes to future disasters, there's so little we can do. Oh, nice. Elaborate on that. And how heartless, I'm so hurt. Exactly, Pam, I never would have thought you were such a cold person, Iluka. I'm sorry I didn't mean to distance myself. It's just, all right, we know you worry about us, but seriously, you don't have to. See for yourself what the traveler's capable of on the road, right? You can leave your back to me. First, I need to return to Pyramida and hold an oath-taking ceremony with my squad. After that, we'll move to Cliffwatch Camp and the base of Kibamaki Cliff to prepare for the upcoming operation. Since you're officially part of my squad now, how about we head to Pyramida together for the oath-taking? But you haven't even seen our headquarters yet, have you? Oath-taking, that sounds amazing, count us in. And it kind of sends you to Moonlit Watcher, which is Yolga's meeting point quest. Oh, that's nice. A small verandabula. But we accidentally started this early by teleporting because they increased the range at which this quest is active. And I accidentally triggered it. Not deliberately. Oh, okay, you can go to Bala Church. That's fun. I mentioned this on the server. I mean, I was there just doing fights. Okay, let's head on up. Just for fun. Let's actually perambulate. Walk through the area. And notably, the fastest character I've currently got in the party is Columbina. Due to her special moon gravity skipping, she can... It's not really skipping, it's just she's less running and more pushing herself off the ground. What's over there? Just some light keepers. Moves about as fast as a tall male character. Though the fastest character... Oh, they're possessed. Yeah. Fastest character, depending on how you define it, is either Varka. In terms of standard stamina consumption, Varus' standard running, isn't just dashing, running speed is faster, but she has increased stamina consumption. So the fastest running speed of a character with normal stamina consumption is... And we can magnetize even here. It's just not as important a mechanic now. Is Varka, but the fastest character, period, is Varasa, even though she's, of course, got her little bit of silliness. Let's poke around down here, and I believe this is one of those tropes. Squad leader, contact table we have on the bases we can still control. My report is over at the command post. Got it, thanks, roll on. Oh, and Sanctum of Departed Heroes. There's a quest here, I believe, but yep, this is a trove that we can't open yet. Alright, that's fine. Let's just hop up top. He just repeats it. Oh, that's hilarious. So the first part of the quest did not repeat, and we've missed some voiced dialogue. It is very interesting that this is voiced, as all the meeting points are, even though it's kind of part of the world quest, which is not. Where could they be? Oh, this is turning into a major headache. If you have not met him in the quest yet, introductory note appears. Iluga, Nightmare's Burning Heart, head of the Lightkeeper's investigation squad. He is always at the forefront. Lightkeeper's station at Quifflock Camp seem to run into some trouble. Forefront during battle, leading a squad against the Wild Hunt's incursions. He is warm-hearted by nature, constantly looks out for those around him, sometimes to the point of over-worrying. His tendency is driven both by his personality and by an instinct rooted in past experiences. To prevent such tragedies from repeating, he has decided to take up the light himself to ensure that the path ahead is illuminated for each and every one of his companions. What now, boss? Forget our brothers and sisters over at the lighthouse, wanting to get to work. If we don't have enough fuel, let's light us out for the entire camp. Yeah, we gotta think of something squad leader, and don't worry. Head back to your post, I'll take care of this. Traveler Paimon, good to see you. Hey there, Iluga, why is everyone gathered here at the entrance? Seems like you've got a lot on your plate. Has something happened? It's fine, just a minor issue really, and I'm already on the case. Come on, Iluga, you're always trying to fix things by yourself on the down low. Just tell us it couldn't hurt, or is it because you're too embarrassed to say? On the way, I just don't want everyone in town worrying about things that I can handle on my own. Since you're both part of the investigation squad now, I won't treat you like outsiders. Yeah, it's meant to be done sort of a third of the way through these quests, because he treats you as a member of the squad. So this isn't exactly the place for a chat. Come on, I'll tell you more inside. And... okay. Got some things going on here. Gotta do a puzzle or two. What is he doing? Two of them. Tulaga. Walking in perfect sync. Not quite, actually. He's a little bit faster. There's no kind of automatic speed match. That would be nice to implement, but whatever. Waiku. Squad leader or comrades in the east seem to have butted heads with the Fatui. They say they're going to send someone over. Got it, I'll be over as soon as I can. Okay. Geez, Iluga, are you always this busy? Recently, yes. There's just so much work to catch up on. Takes so long for them to let us move again after we use a skill like this. Because they don't expect us to. You know, Palms and one asked for a while now. What are these vehicle things we keep seeing in the Lightkeeper's camps? Kind of look like food trucks, don't you think? It'd be awesome if you really could cook up there. Palms, I feel like there's more to these things than meets the eye. Maybe it's a chef bot capable only the finest haute cuisine. Maybe it can transform into a battle bot. For really mean the type that grab a spoon and start attacking you if you said you didn't like its cooking. Oh, these, officially they're called moon wagons. They're transportation tools aimed at modifying designed mechanical vehicles. So it says now they just got cars. Nice. You can think of them as moon-powered mobile lighthouses. It's cool that you can get a view like that. They're not quick by any means, but they save us a whole lot of trouble and manpower when it comes to transporting supplies. As for cooking functionality, I hadn't actually given that any thought. You know, if we did install a toaster in there... Relax, you don't have to take Paimon that seriously. That food truck bit was a joke. You know, filling stomachs is a key part of a Lightkeeper's duties too. Thanks for reminding me of that, Paimon.
パイモンさんの言葉にハッとさせられました。食事用
A
の車
proper
両を
food
用
truck
意で
would
きれ
save
ば、
us from having to build
みんな
makeshift
野外でわ
stone
ざわざ
stools
火を
just
起
to
こ
eat
さ
a
なく
hot
ても
meal.
温かい料理を食べられるようになりますね。
そうだろ
Right, and that way you could
みん
even
なでい
hold
ろ
your
ん
own
な美味しい
bonfire
ものを
parties
作っ
too.
てここでキャンプファイヤーをするんだ。
Except
でも
everyone
拠
does
点
seem
のみ
really
んなは
busy,
忙
not
し
sure
そう
they'd be
だ
in the mood
し、
for that.
そんな気分になる余裕もなさそうだな。
僕もいつか
Nah.
みんなと
Actually, I really
大
hope
きな
that
く
one day
食
we
卓を
can.
囲め
Just
た
the
ら、
thought it makes me smile. Aw.
考えるだけですごく幸せな気分になります。ですが、
Gives me a happy
今はま
feeling.
だ気を緩めて
But
いい
that
状
day
況
will
で
have
は
to
あり
wait
ま
for
せん。
now, at least.
やっぱり
Yeah, it's
そう
all
な
because of the
の
wild
か。
hunt, isn't it?
ワイルドハントのせいか？
Wild hunt.
先日、
Yes, Flynn's did send word from the south that the strongest wild hunt anomaly we know of has been
最
destroyed
も
with
強
your
大
help,
なワイルドハントの軍勢は
which is
君
rare.
たちが協力してくれたおかげで討伐できたと。
Okay.
ですが、
But it
各
continues
地
to
に
cause
したワイ
havoc
ルドハント
elsewhere, so
は
there's no
今
easing
も破
off
壊
for
を続けてい
us.
ます。決して
Notably,
油断はできません。
presumably depending on whether we've beaten Rabbit or not. It is indeed, as you've seen for yourselves, it continued to grow in strength. Vigilance is our only option. Again, based on whether or not we defeated it. Okay. Not only must we shore up our bases themselves, we also need to ensure that the roads are clear, which entails dispatching lightkeepers at regular intervals to patrol vast areas of land.
うーん
So just listening to all that is kind of tiring already.
ライ
You
ト
white
キー
keepers
パ
sure
ーの
have
仕
it
事って
too.
本当に大変なんだな。
これは基
And
本
that's
的な
just
任
the
務に過ぎません。
basics.
進出
The real
鬼没
danger
のワイ
lies
ル
with
ド
those
ハント
wild
と
hunt
対峙す
outbreaks
るよ
that
うな
suddenly just
よ
appear
り
out
危
of
険な
nowhere.
任務は
Such tasks are
父
headed
さん
by
やフリンズ
Grams,
さん、
so
オラビさんたちが担
Nikita,
ってくれています。
Flynn's Olav, and those
そ
guys.
の他のことま
Again,
で
have
父さんに
Nikita
心配
spreading
さ
over
せるわ
every
けには
last
い
thing,
き
so
ません
taking
から、
over handling of the
こういった
groundwork.
基礎的な任務は僕が引き継いだんです。進出鬼没のワイルドハントと対峙するようなより危険な任務は父さんやフリンズさん、オラビさんたちが担ってくれています。実は
Honestly, compared to a
今
shortage
一
of
番厄介
manpower,
なの
supply
は
prep is
物資の
nothing.
準備では
To
なく、
continue on the topic of
人
food,
手の
even the
問題
best
で
cook
して、
in the world couldn't do anything without
本
ingredients.
当にどうにもならないんです。ライトキーパ
Over
ー
the
の拠
years,
点
many of
は
our
長い
former
間修
bases
繕
have
され
fallen
てい
into
ないので、
disrepair,
長期
making
的
them
に
ill
居住
suited
す
for
ることは
long-term
できません。
postings.
現在は
At the moment,
野外
everyone
の
has
拠
to
点と
shuttle
本部を
back and
往
forth
復
between
す
our
るしかな
camps
く、
and the HQ,
そのせいでみ
leading
ん
to
な疲
fewer and
弊して
fewer
いて、
people available for combat deployments.
戦力として動
Got
け
a
るもの
solution
が
in mind.
日に日に減っているんです。この
Yep,
問題
and
を
that's
解
turning
決
this
するには、
place into a
こ
permanent
こをいつで
base.
も帰っ
Most
てこられる
importantly,
よう
what's
な
a
拠点
lightkeeper
にする
stronghold
必要
without
があ
a
ります。
lighthouse?
そして、ライトキーパーの拠点として何よりも大切なのが灯台。
ここに
So
灯
you
台を
want to
建て
build
るの
one
か？
here? It is honestly
この
kind
問
of
題を解
wild
決するには、
that
ここをいつで
Pyramida
も
is
帰って
not the
こられるよう
lightkeeper
な拠
meeting
点にす
point.
る必要があります。
Also, that the
そして
lightkeepers got
ライトキーパー
two.
の拠点として何よりも大切なのが
Final night. Though of course
灯台
that's
です。
really kind of just for Paha.
え
Exactly, we'll need it if
ワイ
we're
ル
to
ドハン
stand
ト
any
襲
chance
撃の
against the
際、
wild hunt's
灯台
attacks.
さえあれば、それを心の拠り所に戦うことができますから。しかし、
Which is easy to say, but in practice, I think you've seen enough to
先ほ
know
どご
it's
覧
not
いただい
going
た
too
通り、
smoothly.
あまり順調には進んでいません。
そういえば
Alright, Palm, I
手伝い
almost
に来た
forgot
の
that we were here to
忘れて
help,
た
so
ぞ。
what's the issue?
一体どんな問題があったんだ？
はい。
Well, building our
拠点
encampment
を
will
築くに
require
は
lots of fuel and
大量の燃
supplies.
料と
Generally,
物資が必要
we
とな
bring
る
it
の
all
で、
on moon wagons
ス
all
キ
the way
車
from
を使って
Pyramida.
いつ
Can
も
you
ピ
get
ラ
me
ミ
to
ダから
some
輸送
somewhere
してもらっ
near
て
us?
いる
You'll
ん
have
です。
some potential timber nearby.
そう簡単ならいい
Oh,
で
if
す
only it were
が、
so simple. The main problem is we
僕
need
た
a
ちに
special
必要
kind
な
of
のは
oil refined
普通
using
の燃
moon
料ではな
power.
く、空爆で生成された特殊な油なんです。
Abura oil.
付近の植
It's
物
true
か
that
ら
the
空
plants
爆を
nearby are
採
full
取
of
すれ
moon
ば、
power and keep us
しば
going
らく
for a
は持つ
while
は
at
ずですが、
least. Supplying the fuel
そ
for
れ
a
で
lighthouse
灯台
is
の
a
燃
whole
料を
other
賄おうと
ballgame.
思ったら、まさに焼け石に水です。本来なら
Unfortunately, though, there's been
燃
no
料と
sign of the
物資を
supplies
積ん
that
だ
should
輸
have
送車が
arrived
到
last
着するは
night.
ずだったんですが、未だに姿を見せていません。輸送を担当しているバルディ
Valdez is
ス
in
さんは
charge of transport, and
とて
he's
も
always
真面目
been
に仕事に
meticulous,
取り
so
組ん
it's
でいます
unlikely that he got careless and
時
missed
間
the
を間
timing
違え
or
るようなミ
something.
スをするとは
Gotta go
と
save
て
his
も
rear.
思えません。だからこ
And
そ
that's precisely why I'm
途中で
worried that
何
they
か
might
ト
have
ラブル
encountered
にあっ
some
たのでは
trouble.
ないかと。
Hold up, deep breaths. Don't get too
心配なん
worked up.
で
I've
す。
seen things like this happen many times before.
たとえ酒樽に閉じ込められたり 頭だけ出して地面に埋められたりしたって最後はなんとかなるもんだぜ。
Yeah, there's always a way out of every jam. Even that means being trapped inside a sealed barrel or getting buried neck deep.
これよりひどい状
I don't
況
want
に
to
は
think
なっ
about
て
it.
ないはずだ
Sure,
ろ。
this can't be any worse than that. Well, you could be bad. Oh, don't tell me that's actually happened. I guess I
冒険
underestimated
の
you
途中で
two
実際
again.
に体験
I
した
think
こと
that's
です
why
か。
we've been imprisoned in the fortress of
どう
Nerapede
や
as
ら
well.
僕はお二人の実力を見くびっていたようですね。
Would he even really know that place? Probably not. Okay. If we mentioned the chef bot. Oh, what? Yeah, that wasn't what Pop was getting at. Other dialogue option.
とりあえず
Anyway, we can have a look
この
around.
辺り
Maybe
を
we
探
just
してみよう
lost
ぜ。
their way.
道に迷ってるだけかもしれないしな。
確かにその通り
Maybe
です
so.
ね。
Anyway, there's no time to lose, so
そ
follow
うと
me.
決まればグズグズしてはいられません。
もちろん
Yeah,
だぞ。
let's move.
さす
Sasuga. Whoa, it's you two on Weaver. Oh, it automatically started the next part. Oh my goodness. What a coincidence. Didn't think I'd run into you here again. Hold on, what are you doing here? This is the front line against the Wild Hunt and Kibamaki Cliff. You shouldn't be here. It's exactly where I should be. I came to help. Yeah, we're here to help too. So I know you're not half bad, but this is different. A battlefield is no place for kids like you. Something the matter on Weaver. Captain, I was just telling these adventure kids doesn't match. Why they shouldn't come somewhere this dangerous. No need to come over. Don't need them getting ideas for a counterexample. Our captain may be young, but he's one of the strongest among us. So don't use him as your baseline, you hear? 12 word Paman, so it was you. Perfect timing. We were just waiting for you. Captain, what's that supposed to mean? They were the temporary recruits I mentioned earlier. They are the ones that mean I know what he's capable of. I guess heroes really are made young. Right, if you say so, Captain, I trust your judgment. And these were the guys we met by the moon wagon. One of whom got possessed by the abyss. The start of the Pyramida part, which I did months ago. Traveler Putman, welcome to the team. We just wrapped up the prep work, so the strategy meeting's next. You should join us. Well, in a bit before... Oh my goodness. Before we begin, let me do the introductions. Traveler and Paimon are the adventurers I mentioned earlier, the ones who helped retrieve the Silver Lampwick. They will be joining our team for the upcoming operation. We're adventurers, but we've got a lot of experience fighting the abyss, so we won't slow you down. Delighted to make your acquaintance. I'm Unweaver. I suppose we can skip the nice to meet you, seeing how we've crossed paths before. Looking forward to fighting alongside you. I'm Rowan. Thanks again for the save last time. Rest assured, I've done ample prep since then. I won't be repeating my mistakes so easily. He was the one who got possessed. Just call me Bjorn. Looks like I'm the only one meeting you for the first time. Either way, the captain shows you I have faith in your abilities. Save the rest of the chit-chat for the victory feast. For now, let's get to the point. The objective is clear. Squad must seize the Clifftop camp ahead of the enemy, establish a forward line to hold back the Wild Hunt. This position is the lifeline of the entire operation. If we lose it, every plan that comes after will be as good as scrapped. To prevent that, we'll use the Silver Lampwick's power to destroy the barrier on the cliff. That will clear out the abyssal whispers and keep the main forces route open. The mechanisms that power the barrier are ancient ruined relics, so we don't fully understand how they work. But the Traveler and Paimon are experienced adventurers. With the two of them handling this key step, the whole operation should go smoothly. Leave the mechanisms to us. Solving puzzles like this is the Traveler's specialty. I guess this is what people mean by the right person for the right job. Came across plenty of devices like this when I worked as a treasure hunter, but I never figured out how any of them worked. My wife was always the one who understood that stuff. Okay. And... interesting. He was a treasure hunter. Well, I used to be a treasure hunter on Weaver, and now they mention it, the vibe just kind of fit. You know, none of that alright. I've been a member of the Lightkeepers for 3 years. I'm an outstanding Lightkeeper nowadays. What do you think? I'm not qualified or something? Sorry, that's not what Paimon meant. Alright, on Weaver, that's enough. Stop scaring her on purpose. Come on, Rowan, why do you call me out like that? Everyone's so tense. I'm just trying to lighten the mood. Listen to Rowan on Weaver. When he gets serious, like fierce enough to scare off even the Wild Hunt. No wonder she took you seriously. When you put it that way, alright, sorry about that. We're teammates now, so I really shouldn't have tried to spook you. Oh, exactly. Come on, if you scares Paimon so badly that you can't carry out the mission, what happens then? The Traveler still needs her as a guide, you know. When we're up against an unpredictable, formidable enemy this time, we all need to stay alert. We can't let our guard down for even a moment. Speaking of the enemy, there's some information the Traveler and Paimon need to know as well. The Wild Hunt on the cliff may have abilities different from those elsewhere. 3 years ago, we paid for that difference in blood. That day, dust had settled in by the time we finished our investigation, so we set up camp on the cliff for the night. In the middle of the night, I was awakened by the sound of battle, only to find the area shrouded in a strange mist. From within that mist came faint, broken whispers. And... okay... The voices sounded familiar somehow, though I couldn't recall where I had heard them before. But I had no time to think about any of that when I pushed deeper into the mist and finally saw who was fighting. Realized it was our detachment members tearing each other apart. And okay. What the hell is that possible? Was that the Wild Hunt's doing? Exactly. We've received report of Wild Hunt anomalies that corrupt the mind across various areas, and it is likely that it all began here. Because we did have the possessed guy at the start of the Sulk West line. We lost far too many that night. Captain Olson kept him together through sheer willpower. With just the two of us, there was nothing we could do. After that, as the main force of the Wild Hunt pushed in, the captain ordered me to retreat and bring the unconscious, badly injured Ivar back for help. Chose to stay behind and cover our escape. Rushed back to the city as fast as I could, reported everything to the old man, but it was too late. By the time we returned to Keep Imaki Cliff, even Captain Olson had, explored the Wild Hunt, spilled forth and spread out beneath the cliffs before we could clear out the monsters. Many innocent civilians had already fallen victim to them. My fellow treasure hunters, my wife, I lost some. All lost, repeated. In that incident, it happened so fast we couldn't even put up a real fight. Just as I thought we were done, a squad of lightkeepers arrived. I fought alongside them, pushed the Wild Hunt back, till I damn near dropped dead from exhaustion. But the lives that were taken can never be brought back. I was on a different assignment that day. I received the emergency order and rushed to the Keep Imaki Cliff to help. What I saw was too much to bear. We fought endlessly day and night, but monsters poured out from the bottomless lair without end. I don't even know when it all finally stopped. All I remember fighting until I had nothing left, and when I opened my eyes again, I was already back in Pyramida. We you fought, and even if you lost, you were warriors who stood your ground. Me, I was pulled from Captain Olson's squad at the last minute because I suddenly got sick. Vede took my place, and because of that, if I had been the one who was there that day. There are no ifs in the past, Bjorn. What matters is what we do now. Right, we rebuilt the camp after the incident. We held the line for 3 years because the conditions for a counterattack were not yet in place. I know you've all endured this for a long time. I'm much the same. But now the day we've waited for has finally come. Good news has arrived from Pyramida. The time is right. Tomorrow we launch our counterattack. Steady yourselves before we march, or those creatures may slip into your thoughts and twist them against you. Remember this, we fight not only for the comrades we've lost, or for the innocent civilians whose lives were taken. It's alright, no problem. I'm actually about to hop off, so I'll do one last thing. Tell me a local legend and I'll fight it. Or maybe two even. We fight to protect those who are still alive today and to give those yet to be born a chance to live in a better world. That concludes the meeting. Rest while you can. Tomorrow will bring a brutal fight and will need every ounce of strength you have. Yes, sir. Dara Darljad. Chapter 2. And go to Cliffwatch Camp. Gather your strength. You've agreed to meet Iluga at Cliffwatch Camp once preparations are complete and take part in the next phase of the operation. Interesting. Let us set this up, and that will pause the world quest. Focused experience mode. Started. Okay. Okay. It's a skaldic poem in Old Norse. 12 Valkyries weave and choose who is to be slain at the Battle of Clontar, fought outside Dublin. They went to Ireland. Their womb is as human entrails as warp and with swords as treadles and arrows that batten men's heads as weights. By Hildur, who are Threemol, Sungrider, Svipol, Guder, and Gondel. Yo, Hildur. She's in Fate. I'm sorry. She is in Fate. I'm sorry about both of those. But Marafatui then. Best option would be a heavy hydro team. I think I'll be running UV Fury team. Yeah. Alright, and yeah, cool. Bond. Okay. Round 1. Let's make sure everyone's got the right weapon. She's got Fab. I do have Furina's signature, which is very hard to use. And she doesn't really need that damage all that much, honestly, but whatever. Okay. Let's wait for them to leave us alone, maybe. I mean, the one thing I really need to do, honestly, it's... Hangouts. I got 10 I still need to do. Nothing requires them except Sayus and Tomas. They kind of wanted you to do those for... kind of wanted you to do Sayus for the Inazuma... It wasn't Mika. Was it Mika? It was whatever one was during Nalan. The game jam one. And then the Arataki rhythm game event with Dvorak on Watatsumi wanted you to do Tomas. Because it referred to the sweater he made, and that is the only reason why. Yeah. Event quests, only 2. Not technically story quests. Okay. We'll run this. It is very, very fun. It's hard to beat comedy. Okay. And, let's see. Okay. Hit is, there we go. Let's see what shaman we got on this. Okay, we did manage to connect. That's good. Let's just make sure we hit him. And the nice thing is that we don't have to worry about leaving the field like we would if I still had Sack Jade, because I've got... Okay. Which one? I mean, it's going. Be careful. What? Okay. You got to see something funnier. Yeah, there's no real point on using it on characters who are either HP scalers or... I mean, it doesn't mean much either way, but you're getting the most utility out of characters who are either HP scalers or use reactions in kit. So I gave it to Nu because I needed him for Stygian. Okay. Come on. Okay. Let's try that again and not screw it up. And do you have a specific preference for what kind of team I end up using in... against Infinitesimal? I could go with a Varka team, I could go with a lot of things. Could use a Varka team, could use Varusa Durin team maybe. Okay, they actually fell in the water. I didn't notice. Good for them. Not really. Okay. I'll use a Varka team then. Alright, ouch. Ouch. Okay. Cool. Shadows like blades deep. If you say so. And, alright. Just like this. And it actually went. We took too long and the rotation ended. That ain't great. That is not good at all. Oh, the shadow went out, but he did not. Well, whatever. The timing may actually be a little better this way. Hyper Bloom has not been good for a long time. This is by design. Okay, we ain't got that going. This is painful. Interesting. Respectable, I suppose. Okay. Well, he's a lot weaker now. I swear, did they change the amount of time that those drops downfield, or is it... It's getting silly. I mean, that was very scuffed. To be fair, the last time I ran Noob, I was using Shilin and Kaze Furina against the Stygian boss. Fair. It was nice for them to add Dendro and make the game free-to-play friendly for a bit. But that is why they did not on numbers creep, because they realized that they had actually made the game more free-to-play friendly than they wanted, because most of Dendro's power is coming from reactions that are set power. Hyper Bloom Raiden has been... I guess maybe Chevy Overload with Durin makes it a bit different, but... Hyper Bloom Raiden has been the best way to run Raiden for a while. Or at least it was the best way to run Raiden for a while. I used Hyper Bloom Raiden for a bit. It's good. Okay, make your decision. Are we using Varka or Varsa? If you don't say something in next... Oh, right, that's right. I actually fought Infinitesimal on my own time. I thought it just hadn't loaded in. I fought it earlier today for fun. I'm sorry. You're gonna have to pick something else. Oh my goodness. Yeah, but I fight local legends for fun, because it's a fun way to farm it. I think I already killed Bronzlock today too, right? Yeah, because Varka works well against Bronzlock against Infinitesimal, so... Oh goodness, yep, we already killed Bronzlock. In that case... Yeah. You can be even more afraid now or something. Vars... Chevy... Fischl and Durin. Okay. I think that'll work. This works. No, I don't punch rocks either. If I'm gonna be fighting one of those, I'm gonna invoke Chekhov's gun. And let me see. How do I want to run this team again? Chevy, Bennett, Fischl, yeah. I'll use on-field Durin. And do you mean Ninian or do you mean Vivian? Vivian's easier, so let's go Vivian. An eye towards saving time, maybe. Okay. Yeah, she is easier, so I'm okay with that. Alright. Alright. Well, I wouldn't quite say that. I would say that if I wanted to use these characters for a stronger... I'd probably be running it with Orisa, mayhaps. Because though his burst hits are getting stronger by being the on-fielder, and he does have R2 Athame, a word that I primarily know because of the witchery mod for Minecraft. It's interesting. Okay, so we're actually going to put you down now, so that Chevy can get her heal going. Cool. Now, it's already down, so we just switch back and, yep, dodge. Cool. Thank you. It's already back. It's legitimately actually a kind of good team, which is the worst part. This should not be good. Alright. But Chevy can tank a hit or two, which is great for us. Because you're able to get both the overload and vaporize. You get overvape, and, well, that was maybe a little rougher. We'll finish it with the full. I run light mode on this team. Because unless I'm fighting something with inherent Hydro Aura, I'm getting overloads and no vaporizes. Streets are saying that Rowan is going to be a cryo DPS, intended specifically to be an on-field cryo driver to allow Dark Durin to melt, which is interesting because as of right now, the only real use for that is Mona. On-field Mona, which to be fair is more or less how Hex Mona is built, to be a vaporized driver for on-field Durin. But Oh, goodness. If I'm fighting something with inherent Hydro, or I'm still running light mode for the Shred, because that's helping the Pyro and Electro damage. And a lot of Durin's damage is frankly coming from his on-field there. Meaning... And a lot of the team's damage is also coming from Fischl, so you're better off getting the Shred generally. No, it's... We know Lowen's Cryo, we know he's standard. I think a lot of those are educated guesses, but I could see that happening. Well, I mean, obviously it's not anything approaching a guarantee at this point. It's guesswork because we don't get any real weeks anymore, really. It's just... Pretendians. Okay. Let's put the team there together, and I am going to be hopping off now for various and sundry reasons. It's been fun. Yeah, speak now or forever hold your peace. Speak now or hold your piss. Like I said, if you have any interest, there is a fan board in the link down there. I mean, that could work. With Bennett, maybe? I mean, you could run DPS dummy. I'll try that out for you tomorrow. How about that? If you're on tomorrow, I'll try that out for you tomorrow. I'll be on at some, like, 8 or 9 European times, so I think that may work. But like I said, I am going to hop off for the night. It's been fun. Pick up where we left off and do more Ilaga-related quests. So, yeah, Sayonara, that's my stupid little sign-off for you. Yeah, likewise.